Here we go. Here we go. Hey, I'm your gracious host, Dr. Juice. Welcome to Urban Matters Matter Live Chat here at Urban Matter Black Media Studios. And we are definitely delighted to see you and have you join us today. Yes. Yes. Thank you again for joining us. We are back again here on this gracious day. Happy Sunday, August, what is it, the 18th, 2024. Thanks again for joining us. I'm your gracious host, Dr. Juice, and we got again joining us the most humble, the almighty Professor V in the building, the guru of data science and data analytics. And we got my man's Mark E, Ohio Street's finest, the highway boy. We're gonna let him be a highway boy today, Professor. Yeah, he close enough. He close enough, Professor.
Close enough.
Honorary. He's an honorary highway boy. We're gonna put it down today, man. And I know y'all see the title for today's topic. Why can't FBA, if y'all don't know what FBA means, family, that means Foundational Black American. Why can't FBAs have specific mandated legislation from the so-called party that represents us, which is the Democrat Party? And for that matter, it can be the Republican Party. But I'm telling you what foundational Black Americans need this election cycle, and that is specific policies that address business ownership and open up resources specifically. They got specific bills for LGBT. They have all these different, organizations like small business grants that they give directly to LGBT businesses, so that LGBT businesses are not undermined, or so LGBT businesses and Q businesses are not overlooked. They have the same similar policies for Asian Pacific businesses. If y'all don't know, Miss Kamami, she gave out about, since she's been in office, almost 80 billion to Asian Islander, Pacific Islanders businesses, and these businesses are specific for Islanders. You can't, like, say for instance, right? You're a Black American, which they like to classify us as a minority, right? You can't take advantages of that resources. It can only be designated to those Pacific Islanders and those Asian American type businesses. And I hate using that term, Asian Americans. But fella, don't let me talk your head off today. Go ahead and introduce yourself today, fellas. I don't want to talk everybody's head off. Y'all know how to talk your head off. Go ahead, Professor. Let us know what's on your mind today and introduce yourself, and let us know how your day is going. Let us know how your week is going. I know you guys had a power outage up there in the Atlanta, the Region 4. That's the capital of Region 4, y'all. We're gonna start naming places as regions. We're gonna start introducing y'all and educating y'all on what the 10 region plan is in America. Go ahead, Father, Professor.
Man, y'all know what it is. I'm across the highway.
All right.
Full blown 3Ds, man. B1, bro. All the way from the ATL, man. Today, Dr. Juice, it's storming again, and I'm prepared. Like, if my power go out again today, I will go into my emergency mode, and I always like to have the opportunity to do that to make sure all of my emergency functionality is working properly. So if my power should go out, I'm going to transfer over into my emergency mode, and I'll still be there with you.
Good thing. And that's a good point you made, Professor, about being prepared for emergencies. We're in that time right now, family. I don't know if y'all paying attention to the times we're in. We got power outages everywhere. It's storm season down here in the South, and we gotta be prepared for these things, man. Are you prepared? Do you have at least 30 days to 90 days of food rationing, water? Because whether you know it or not, family, you will die of thirst before you die of hunger. I don't know if anybody knows that. That's just a little bit of biology type education for you. You need water for your body. You will die of dehydration before you will die of hunger, and that is a fact. All right, Mark, let's run it. Your turn. You're in the chamber.
Yes, sir. The one and only Marquis, all the way from Ohio Street, and under the tutelage of the illustrious Mr. Stephen Bubba Hawkins.
Salute,
Uh,
salute.
yeah, yes, sir. And we ready to go. And I love that topic because we gotta get serious about this black business stuff and trying to stop some of this benign neglect going on in our government,
Yes, sir.
trying to force the hand of these legislators to do something for our group and specifically for our group. I think that is very important.
Yes, sir.
And also, I think, the Jedi mind trick. We've been talking about that for a while. So I got to looking at I started acting like Professor Boss a little bit and started looking at some graphs and stuff. And man, oh man,
Yeah,
the
we got
Jedi mind trick. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit today.
absolutely, absolutely. I think you sent me that graph. Let me see if I can pull
Yeah,
it up. Let's see if we can pull it
I
up for
sent two of them.
Man, y'all making me just so proud. You don't know what that does to an educator to see research, man. And we need to do more research. We need to
Absolutely.
teach research. So you just warm my heart to talk about all the research that you're doing. I'm just so excited to see these graphs, bro.
Absolutely, man. Let's get that graph on screen right now, man. All
All
right,
right.
brother Marky Mark, break that down for us, man. Go ahead and
Uh,
unpack that.
All
Blow it
right.
up, blow it up, so I can
Yeah,
see it.
blow it up, brother.
Okay.
Which is that the one for that's the one for the United States. Okay. If you notice, I hear, they had me reeling on these Biden mind tricks, right? But do you notice who had the worst unemployment rate
Hmm.
and we were the happiest? That would be those Obama years from 2008 to 2016. We had the worst unemployment rate
Wow.
in the US. So that's what this chart is for, unemployment in the United States from 1990 to 2023. Do you see Obama unemployment number? And then Trump come in and they started getting it. He started chopping it down. It was coming down, right?
Hmm.
And then what did they do? Now this is that Biden Jedi mind trick that I was talking about, where they
Hmm.
made a run on money with this COVID. So then in 2020, that's when they shut everything down in that March. And you see how many jobs was lost?
Yes.
And the Democrats like to say Trump lost 2 million jobs. No, Biden lost the jobs.
Wow.
And then what did he do? Basically, what happened is the economy, job wise, of course, after the pandemic, it goes back down to the levels it was previous to the pandemic. And so now he make you think that they done something for you. And
Hmm.
only thing happened is everything went pretty close to how it was. Jedi mind trick.
Wow. Wow. Let's pull that other chart up real quick, brother Marky Mark.
And
Let's
the other
see.
chart is more like we talk about specific to our community. It's
Hmm.
and it's pretty reflective of the entire US. Um, but you know, we have the same fluctuations and whatnot in the chart. And so that's what I say about us actually investigating some of the stuff people say. Because during these election times, they put, how people just make PowerPoint presentations and
Hmm.
then they make bold statements on it to get your attention. So when they said Trump lost 2 million jobs, I had to look it up. I wanted to see this, I wanted to understand it because I missed it. And then that made me go to this research and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
Hmm. Okay,
So,
here we go. We got it. The next one up right here, Marky Mark.
all right, that's unemployment rate for African Americans in the United States from 1990 to 2023. Now, um, brother, can you scroll down?
Okay. Not a problem. Let's see if we can get it rolled up here.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Let's see here.
Now,
I think we got it
now,
right. Okay, let's see if we
I
can pull that up.
I'm on my phone. It's hard for me to
Right,
do.
yeah. Yeah, I got it. I
But
got it. I see what you're saying. Yeah, hold on. There we go.
what's that percentage on? What's that lowest percentage for us?
It says, let's see here. Let's see if I can blow it up one more time. Let's see. Hold on. I'm gonna
Because
blow
in
it.
the U.S., we're down to like 3 as a nation, 3%, 3.6 or something to that effect.
Okay.
And as you can tell,
Oh shit.
our numbers are a lot larger than that. So just running on that premise alone, we have to understand how much greater we are affected than the US numbers. And that's
Right.
one reason why I pulled ours up. Because everybody on this chat is B1. And so
Absolutely.
we got to understand what it is for the country. And we also got to understand what it is for our group specifically. And our group is hurting.
Yes, sir. Super hurting. Let me see if I can blow it
Yes.
one more time.
See how fat those lines look.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have the same, you can see
Okay,
you
it's
can,
2022. We're at around almost 20. Got a little blurry on me. About 20%.
yeah, bruh. That's scary. That's like double what it is. You said 2022 is it 20%?
Let me see. Let me pull it up real quick. Let me just.
Woo! So that's even worse. So,
Yeah, that's
you
way.
know, we it gets the point across though that we as a group of people, we are getting a bad end of the stick. We all know it's the worst end of the stick.
Yes, sir.
You know, even when we talk about like Professor Voss, when he speak on the fact that, how they got us out of the fruit groves. And I remember a few of my relatives were contractors, and I remember how all that went. I was a young buck, but I hung around old people and I listened. So I know how that went. And so we have to, and we're getting something similar happening to us now. We got to understand all this stuff is cyclical and we got to prepare. And I agree with Professor Voss. We got to learn how to work in a digital environment. That's why I'm on this site. I mean, that's why I'm on this live and I'm learning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for that presentation, brother Mark E. I call it Mark E. Mark. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Professor, you want to chime in on that? Give us a little feedback on those numbers, and if you got any type of slides you want to present us, and we'll keep it going. Look, you know what? Let's go with some comments. Minister Goodbye checking in. He said checking in. Salute to Minister Goodbye. Yes, sir. Stand
Salute.
the man. Stand the man. I see you down there in Ghana, man. He man, stand the man down in the motherland. He trying to find his roots. I feel you, boy. You trying to tap in with your roots. You down there in Ghana, huh? All right. That's what we like to see, bro. We like to see us
Yes, sir.
communicating and tapping back into our original roots. And look here, man. Come back with some investment ideas too down there, standing man. Because I know it's a lot of investment down there in Ghana, but be careful down there. They got a lot of scammers too now. So be
Yeah,
careful.
they got a lot of scammers going on.
Yeah.
And if he want to get hooked up with somebody, I got somebody on the ground over there
Okay. See
who
that? That's
who
what
do
network.
real estate.
That's what networking do for you, Standing man. You should have tapped in with us, man, before you went down there, man. I get it though. I know you like to move in silent. I got you, bro. I'm on that. Yes, sir. And Professor Voss had us a little comment in the comment section. Y'all see how we got the comments popping up? What? Our technology is advancing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. That's what I'm saying. Listen, man. I woke up about 5 o'clock this morning. I say, man, look, man. Why are the comments not tapping in, man? I don't like that. What's going on with that, man? I like to let's see, what's going on. It's not, yeah, but everything's cool, man. We're gonna keep rocking and we're gonna keep grinding and we're gonna keep hashing away. Professor, chime in on that though a little bit on those numbers about unemployment and I had, you know what? Let me say something real quick, Professor, before you come on. I had got into a conversation, like I said this morning, with a older lady in my neighborhood, and I was just doing a survey, and so I was just wanted to see where she was at, and was she politically, intelligent, or was she politically ignorant, or was she just politically confused? And came to realize that she was politically confused because I had asked her a question about why do people all the time convert or try to deflect to goofy stuff, like if you ask them a question about, just because I don't want to vote Democrat and I don't want to identify a Democrat, why do people automatically say, oh, well, you're a Trump supporter, and without you saying you're a Trump supporter? If I'm a Trump supporter, I would say, listen, I'm supporting Trump. I have no shame in my game. You get what I'm saying? But with her, she wanted to say, okay, she said, "No, I'm a Republican." I said, "Okay, I like that. I like that." I say, "I like how direct you was coming out saying you was a Republican." So then I asked her, I said, "So let me ask you," she said, "Yeah, my grandma was a Republican too. She was born in 1907." I said, "Okay, that's good history. I like to hear that." I say, because we were more conservative when we first originally were, in the Americas that we founded. Y'all know that we founded it. And one of y'all guys turn your monitor down a little bit. You probably we got a little feedback. And so I said, yeah, that's cool. I said, so I said, let me ask you, so answer my question. She said, was like, but in my opinion though, I think Kamala Harris would be a better president than Trump. I say, really? I say, explain why. Why do you feel that way? And the first thing came out her mouth, guess what she said? Because he was fighting against Roe v. Wade. I was like, what? I said, you mean to talk about the abortion law, the abortion bill? I say, technically, let me give you some sign. I say, because I got it, I can pull up the receipts for you. Trump was not against Roe v. Wade because she said, before she cut me off again. She said, well, because you got a lot of women around here that have these stillborn births and all of that and rape and all. I say, listen, Trump had an exception in that bill. He said that for rape and incest and stillborns, you could they would allow abortions, but just people out here having reckless sex and want to go get an abortion because they having some ratchet reckless sex and they having gutter sex. No, you're not gonna just be going running to the abortion clinic. See, we have to realize that abortion is a business. Have you ever seen any women or whoever goes to the abortion clinic walk away with their fetus? Have you ever seen them walk away with their fetus? No, you don't, because that fetus is a product, and it's a product for economic empowerment. And these people take these fetuses and they put them in your Coca-Colas and they put them in a lot of your foods. You don't know that. A fetus is a sweetener for a lot of different food companies. I know I'm kind of grossing you out right now, but facts matter. That's what they do with fetuses. Also, they take the organs. That's why they're trying to push the abortion rate up to 9 months now. You can still get an abortion because now at 9 months, a baby child has full developed organs. So organs are a very lucrative business on the black market and on the organ donor market. So I'm just giving you some science right now. So then I say, so why do you say that Kamala's a better? I say, so you're telling me because you're a woman, even though you're Republican, you're still going to vote for a Democrat. That's what you call politically confused. I digress. Professor, we were talking about the economic situation of black men and the job rate of black women in America.
Y'all just got me choked up, and I'm gonna have to work through that. And the reason why you got me choked up, to first of all hear the influence, the academic influence that I've been able to impart on y'all. Uh, you're doing research, you're using data to tell your story, and when you think about the Stone Ages when I came up in the 70s, right? And when politics, the news, and all these things was presented to us, we had to take whatever the establishment was telling us for face value. We really didn't have any mechanism to go outside of what the establishment was telling us. Water contract, those people.
Yes, sir.
And then, like for instance, so if we was back in the 70s and all of these events happening right now, and let's look at the day, the Democratic convention is starting tomorrow. We would have to wait till everybody went to the barbershop on Saturday to talk about it, to discuss it. As black men, we'd have to go to the barbershop and talk about it. And then as we went through the barber would have to keep the conversation going as we all went through the barbershop. But today, we have some of the most amazing technology that man has ever made. And when you think about technology, I always like to use this example, especially in the case of AI. Look at technology as a hammer, right? We can take a hammer and we can build something, and we can take that same hammer and tear something down.
Absolutely.
In this case, we're using the hammer, which is technology, to build something. And I just can't tell you all enough of just how I'm just so touched that you really get self-education. You get that, and we're demonstrating that in the community. We're building a digital community. Our physical community might have been disrupted and changed, but guess what? Our digital community is greater than the past. So I want to commend Mark and Mark, and that's why we gave you an honorary cross the highway pass today, because you one of us. But
That's right.
the thing that, and guess what? Cross the highway, I want to point out, nobody nobody in your community cross the highway is always taking the lead on everything. Cross the highway, bro. We're leaders. The thing that I want to get us on the path about is policy. We need to have a discussion about policy. You know, I know it sounds like we sit here and we talk about the issues, but let's talk about the solution. And you get solutions from policy. But the first thing you have to do in order to develop those solutions is do exactly what Brother Mark did. You start off with the data. You start off with the data. The data is your framework. The data is your foundation to solving problems. And the problem is, as we've all talked about continuously, is what's in your wallet, black man, and what type of policies are we concerned with, regardless of whether they talk about our policies or not. There's nothing stopping us from discussing our policies. There's nothing from stopping us from analyzing, synthesizing, and coming up with our philosophical view to build policies that's going to economically enable us. Now, the first policy that I want to talk about is the same policy that our great mayor here in Atlanta, Georgia, Maynard Jackson, when we built the Atlanta airport in the 70s, the thing that really brought economical wealth to black businesses in Atlanta was when Maynard Jackson legislated that 30% of all of those prime contract goes to minority businesses. So if your friend, Dr. Juice, Kamani, she's giving out money to
That's my
Asian.
girl. That's my girl. Watch out now. Tread lightly.
Okay, let me put Miss Kamani.
Okay.
There you go. That's better. That's better. Put some respect on her name.
Put some respect on it.
I'm sorry, forgive me. So So Miss Commandment is going around talking about how in that last video that you presented that Asia Pacific got some money, some Indians got some money up in Dakota to do opioid. She said she also gave
For drug
money
abuse, right?
out of the Freedmen's out of the Freedmen's Bank. She gave money. She ran money through the Carver Bank that's in New York, and she's supposed to be sending money down to house. Okay, Miss Commandment. Now, let's write a policy of that money. What percentage will go to foundational African American men? And why is that? Because Brother Michael just pointed out that we suffered under Obama, and I can take you all the way back to when we got here, so you already know our pain and suffering and how our business. Look, I will mention this: during Jim Crow, they wasn't burning down LGTP alphabet people businesses.
She
They wasn't
wasn't.
burning down women's businesses.
Nope.
Okay, they wasn't burning down midget businesses. They were burning down black businesses out of white jealousy. So that's unique. That's specific. So that being the case, while you're throwing out money, Miss Commandment, why don't you talk about a policy that will address some of the economical issues that Brother Mark made? So if you're gonna do housing, if you threw money housing, I'll give you a half a point for that. Okay, but let's build some policies around. What about training? What about let's build some policies that will increase trade. In other words, instead of this pipeline to prison that you got going on with our boys, or instead of trying to convince our boys that there's somebody else that they need to wear a dress, why don't we train them to be plumbers? Why don't we train them to be carpenters? Why don't we train them to do concrete work? Since you put money out there for housing, and make it a policy that X amount of those funds go toward foundational white people in America. There you go, Dr. Juice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with what you're saying, Professor. And I know part of her plan was to invest money into the housing. Why invest money into housing when the housing industry is on the verge of collapse? The housing market is in a what they call a bubble right now, an economic bubble, and we all know what happens with bubbles. They burst. And we'll be right back in the same dilemma when Obama was in office in 2008. The Fannie Mae, the Bank of America scam that was running in Countrywide. I know y'all remember that, the Countrywide collapse, the Countrywide housing collapse, where they put all these balloon policies and balloon loans. And what happened was they were financing people in houses that couldn't afford these houses just to make the numbers and fluctuate the numbers and make it look like the mortgage industry was doing so good. That's called predatory lending and predatory housing. And so they were preying on innocent consumers such as you and I. I know for a fact because I got caught up in that. But what I had to do, I had to sell my home before I lost it because I got caught in what they call a balloon loan. Y'all know what a balloon loan is. And I was like, yo, man, the market's going here and I can't afford it. And I'm working hard every day, man. I can't even tell you about the stress that I was under. And I'm paying my bills. And so I'm sending my money in, I'm sending my mortgage in, and guess what they do? They send it back to me, say, no, just hold on to the mortgage. We don't need it right now. We're working on some programs and we're gonna Countrywide bought out. I mean, Bank of America bought out Countrywide home loans and it was just a big mess. And I was unable. I mean, unfortunately, I was able to sell my home, and that's what helped me not right now be in a really bad position. And we got Professor sharing some information, but Professor, I just want to show y'all what Kamala is trying to do now. She's trying to come up with some type of economic plan because it wasn't on her. It wasn't on her website to begin with. And so I just want to show the family this. Let me see if I can get the comment section here, the chat section out of the way real quick so you guys can see this. But as you can see right here, she's trying to finesse or shoehorn a loan, I mean, a economic policy as it is. But look who she went and got. She got one of the most treacherous sharks of the economic infrastructure. She went and got, what's the name of the company? What's the name of the company? They're notorious for hedge funds that collapse. But as you can see right here, the Labor Department, she's trying to add the Labor Department because she knew. See, they threw her out here. They threw her out. This is a BBC article. You can go at BBC and check it on your leisure time. I just wanted to show y'all what she's trying to do. New homes and the end to price gouging. Harris sets economics goal. She's not going to be able to stop price gouging. Let me tell y'all what that is. That's code word for inflation. How are you going to stop the inflation when you caused it, Kamala? You caused it
Right.
by doing nothing for 4 years. So I don't want to beat her up too bad because I know a lot of people, they have a soft spot for her and her do nothing and the nothing burger policies. I know you do. But I'm just keeping it real, man. I'm not gonna sit around and allow my grandkids to look at me 20 years from now and be like, Pops, what happened? What was y'all thinking? What was y'all doing? Like we're looking at our ancestors now. Like we're looking at our elders now. We're like, damn. How y'all just steadily passing down debt and no passing down no generational wealth? And so, like I say, you're not gonna shame me. If Kamala or Command, whatever her name is, I don't even give a damn. You see how they trying to come up with all these Jedi mind tricks about, oh, you're racist if you don't pronounce her name right. Let me tell y'all something. People have certain pronunciations on how their accent is. They may speak a different language. They may look at vowels and syllables totally different than you look at them. So to say that they're mispronouncing her name by on purpose, it's just ludicrous. It's a straw man argument, and they got to throw all these deflections out there because they can't definitively defend her policies. They have no policies that they can defend her on. So they got to come up with all kind of goofy stuff like, "Oh, you pronouncing her name wrong, you're a racist," or "Oh, if you don't vote for her, then you must be a Trump supporter." You know, that's so immature and childish for you to come up with those type of comments. That's very childish. So I just had to go there and say that. Let's stand on policies. Give me some business that this lady is taking care of for your community, much less anybody community. You can't give us any type of definitive policies that she's handing down. You're defending her either because she's claiming that she's black, which she's not, what she does. I've never heard it come out of her mouth that she's a black woman. I've never heard her say that, like prove to you that she's a black woman. So all I'm saying is, look, man, I'm tired of all the goofy rhetoric, and I'm tired of all the reckless rhetoric. A lot of this reckless, dangerous rhetoric that you guys been using on Trump. You probably were the one that had Trump attempt on Trump's life. You're responsible for that because of all this dangerous rhetoric. It's time out for this stuff. And all I'm saying is, look, let's get the ball rolling. If Kamami can come up with some policies, I'll vote for her. But right now, I don't see anything that kind of invites me or influences me to vote for her. Because I'm not going to be 20 years from now explaining to my grandkids what happened. What happened was I was a damn fool, baby. That's all I can tell you. I was an ignorant, politically ignorant fool. And I was just voting for people for identity, for colors. And I was just voting. I didn't have any type of political maturity, any type of political knowledge. And now I do. And I'm sorry. I'm not going to be explaining that to them. So I'm going to do something right now. And that's why we're discussing on this program today policies for the FBA community, Foundational Black American Community. What policies? It's too much technology now. You're not going to be able to pull the Jedi mind trick, banana in the tailpipe stuff on this younger generation. This Generation Z, they ain't going for it. Generation Z say they want policies, and they say they rocking with Trump. I'm just keeping it 100 with you, man. I digress. Brother Marky Mark, chime in on that there, bro.
Hey, you know, people say to me all the time, I have a plethora of reasons, but I'm just gonna keep it a buck and just go by like what we say. What's in black and white? What policy is this person saying that makes me want to say yes to that person? See, because I'm a simple guy. Number one, I'm an independent voter. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I was Democrat until I fell for the banana in the tailpipe with Obama twice.
Absolutely.
And that made me start looking deeper. So, policies. Um, you know, stuff that matter to me, keep men out of women's sports. That matters to me.
Yes.
I have granddaughters. That matters to me. I have a grandson. That matters to me. And I've seen some of the things that happen when that happen. That's that's number 17 on agenda 47 for Trump. Uh, America first. Just like we B1, America first, bruh. I agree. I agree 100%. Take care of home first. Then we used to get told sweep around your own front door
Yes, sir.
before you try to sweep around mine.
Yes, sir.
And so that means something. Seal the border. Stop the migrant invasion. That's numero uno on agenda 47.
Yes,
That
sir.
means something to me because as you can tell by the graph I gave you, we are suffering. And the boule can talk as much as they want about black jobs, but those aren't the jobs that these migrants are coming to get. They coming to get them 20, 15, $30,000 jobs. And we are the masters of those jobs.
Yes, sir.
Our average income is around 38,000 a year. That's our average.
Yes, sir.
So we have to pay attention to stuff like that. And we got to get out our feelings because our women get in a little fantasy land and think all men or a large majority of men making six figures. It's not many of us. That's 10%. So you got to stop that. We have to stay in reality. And the reality is the majority of us make on average 38,000. So these immigrants are coming and getting those jobs.
Absolutely.
So that makes a difference. That's policy. That's wrote in black and white. End inflation, wrote in black and white. So if we just go make America dominant energy producer in the world by far, that's for me. So there's a lot of things that I rock with. It's only 20 bullet points. It's easy to read. Biden's was 188 pages, wrote like a true politician. So
Mm.
you can look, Agenda 47 is what Trump wrote, not that 2025 mess.
Mm-hmm.
So those are a few of the policies I like. Those are the few of the policies I rock with. As we've looked for and as we spoke about, Commandment don't have. I guess she got one policy that she claiming for now. But my thing is, you're in the White House at this very moment. Why is it you haven't done anything to stop this already?
Correct. Correct. Let's
And
go
that's
over some of these comments. Thank you for sharing that, brother Mark. Thank you for sharing that.
yes, sir.
I felt the passion and I could feel the vision in your spirit. And I thank you for being a part of this platform. I thank you for being a role model for foundational Black American men standing up in the paint and taking responsibility and accountability for their communities. And I know that's why you guys come and participate in this platform. And I'm great. I'm just grateful for that. And I just want to let Professor know I appreciate everything that y'all are doing. And we're going to grow this thing into something beautiful. And it's going to be organized. And we're trying to, have an organized mindset. And that's what it takes in our community. And I know this is like a misnomer, or it's like a taboo where you see men organizing and alternatively educating their communities. And that's something we don't see a lot. I mean, even in the educational system, our school system, you don't really see a lot of Black male educators participating in the educational institutions. And but you got a gang of church ones, Black males. And I think that, me just personally, I think the church is failing us. And the church used to be an educational institution in the Black community, but it's not anymore in the Black American community. And I just want to go over some of these comments real quick. Professor Voss says, here is a summary of challenges and barriers faced by Black Americans across selected years. 1955 social and political barriers. Emmett Till's murder. The brutal killing of 14-year-old Emmett Till in Mississippi became a national rallying point for the civil rights movement. Montgomery bus boycott is another one. Sparked by Rosa Parks' arrest, the boycott led to major confrontations around the segregation and racial inequality in public spaces. Economic barriers, economic opportunities for Black Americans remain severely restricted due to segregationist policies in the South, discriminatory hiring. But I want to say something right there. We used to think a lot of the segregationist policies were just in the Southwest. I want to kind of correct you and kind of add to that. They were also
Yes,
in the North. It was also
correct.
in the North. So they,
Yes,
they just tried to make it seem as if they were, these so-called abolitionists that were trying to look out for slaves, but they were really jealous of the the Black people in this, because see, Black people, in whether you know it or not, Black people in the South, the slaves were treated better by their slave masters. I ain't saying that that's a good thing, but I'm just trying to say that's some American history that has gone unchecked. And that was true because the slaves could actually vote in the South. They didn't give those voting rights to slaves in the North. You had to literally be free, a free slave, to be able to be voting in the North. So I'm just saying, not that slavery, well, I'm not trying to justify slavery and such, but let's go back. Policies in the South and discriminatory hiring practices throughout the country. 1965 Social and Political Barriers, Voting Rights Acts of 1965. Although it was a significant legal victory, it was met with backlash from many southern states that worked to undermine voting rights. For, let's see what else we got here, for high wage jobs, economic opportunities, as a discriminatory housing. That kind of sounds like what we're going through right now. I,
cyclical,
I
cyclical.
I mean, it's like we still fighting for the same thing. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. I'm just keeping it above 100, man. Okay, Mr. Stanley Man Barnes says, what's good, Juice? I'm watching you all the way from Ghana live, my brother, and I'm sharing your show. Thanks for that, bro. We appreciate that. Yeah, we need some international coverage, because I think, man, this is my vision, bro. I think we're gonna be doing a lot of traveling, my dudes. Hey, y'all think that? I think, man, this show gonna take off. I think our investment secrets and our investment advice going to start taking off here in America. And I think that, let's put this one up here on there. So he said, what's good, Juice? I'm watching you all the way from Ghana live, my brother. I'm sharing your show. Thank you, bro. We got Minister Goodbye say, I'm checking in again. Okay. So we had that one now. Let's see what this one say. He said, I can't say it enough. Let's create policy off principles, realistically. Thank you for that comment, Mr. Goodbye. And let's see what Mr. Goodbye tapped in, man. He said, Bank of America has affected me as a young man in high school back in 2005, 2006. Correct. So this ain't no new thing, man. These people are taking advantage of us. It's called exploitation. It's called
Yes,
exploitation of
yes.
the Black community. And we got to do something about that. And I think some of the Democratic policies, they're gonna continue this madness, because I've been voting for, let's see, I ain't gonna tell y'all my age now, but I'm just gonna say I've been voting for about 30 years, and I'm pretty much still in the same boat. Had it not be for me getting out of the workforce and becoming a business owner, man, listen, I probably would. I don't know where I would be right now because I wouldn't have the mindset I have. I know I wouldn't have this show. I wouldn't have this broadcast. I wouldn't have this blog right now, and I wouldn't be doing this right now. I know that for a fact because I'll be still a tool and a slave-minded fool out there thinking I'm going to get rich off of earned income. I digress. So, Professor, chime in. Chime in.
So, did you not show a video some time ago where Mr. Mammy said that she can't do nothing for black people? Correct? Fact check me on that. Did I hit y'all?
Yes, sir.
Did she say that?
She did.
All right,
I can't do nothing specifically for black people.
Tell me what she said. Say it again.
I can't do nothing specifically for black people. And Biden said the exact same thing to the Congressional Black Caucus.
Okay, so I got something here. I want y'all to explain something to me then. Put that up, Dr. Juice. Explain. And I want you to read what I'm putting up. And I'm going to let y'all explain this to me. And I want you to read.
We're going to put it up. Let's put that video up you were telling us about, Professor. We're going to put that up first. We're going to put that video up.
Oh, the video? I need to do, but go ahead and read this. And I'll find that video. Oh, you want to put the video? Do you have the video? There you
go. Got it.
Well, listen. Again, we had over 200 years of slavery.
Now they ask her, do you support reparations for black people?
Do you support reparations?
And let me just put something out there real quick, Professor. Y'all know they weren't even talking about reparations before the black media platforms like such, Urban Matters, Black Media Group. Y'all know they was not even discussing. They was talking what that one bill, bill HR 10 whatever. They talking about. They was discussing reparations. See, they want to discuss reparations. No, we need them to enact and enforce reparations. It's a difference.
Do you support reparations for black people?
Well, listen. Again, we had over 200 years of slavery.
Listen.
We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit black children, why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this. Any policy that will benefit black people.
A lot of words salad. Here she go with the all lives matter. See how they always circle back around to all lives matter?
Will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. Because let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. About that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. Because
yeah, she said it.
3 times. 3 times. She made it clear. She said, let's be clear.
Yes, very clear.
She just said, she said, let me be clear about that.
And she repositioned herself in her seat and shook her hair.
Yeah.
So she meant what she said.
She got sister girl with it. Like y'all want to make her out to be a sister girl just because she went to HBCU. She say, let's be clear. She put the neck roll in it. You know how the women get with you with that neck roll. Y'all sisters good at it. They gotta roll that neck, boy. Listen, that neck roll, boy. That neck roll do something to me, boy. You might as well
I
just
guess
cuss me out before you do that neck roll.
I guess that was an AKA neck roll she done so she can assimilate.
Y'all stop it. Y'all being petty now. Let's go. Professor, stop it.
All right,
Stop it being
Professor.
petty.
All right, so I want you to put that on screen, and I want y'all to read that to me.
You got it up there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do it. Let's blow it up. Executive order advancing equality for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer. You got to roll it for me, Professor. I can't. You got all the controls on your side, so you got to scroll it down. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Scroll it just one time. Okay. Policy Our Nation has made great strides in fulfilling the fundamental promises of freedom and equality for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex. LGBTQI. Damn, what did I mean? What did I mean on that? What is that? America. Okay, let's moving on. Moving on. Americans owing to the leadership of generations of LGBTQI individuals, in spite of this historic progress, LGBTQI individuals and families still face systemic discrimination and barriers to full participation in our nation's economic and civil life. These disparities and barriers can be the greatest for transgender people and LGBTQI people of color today. Today, unrelenting political and legislative attacks at the state level on LGBTQI, plus children and families in particular, threaten the civil rights gains of the last half century and put let's say half century. Man, we've been in this thing for 500 years. What? Come on.
Civil
Okay,
rights.
all
They
right,
had
big
those
bad.
the word civil rights in there.
Right? What they got to do with civil rights? Okay, okay. We're just moving on. We gonna try to maintain our cool right here, right here. Last half century have put LGBTQI people at risk. These attacks defy our American values of liberty and dignity, corrode our democracy, and threaten basic personal safety. They echoed the criminalization of LGBTQI plus people. They keep putting that plus on there. I don't know what that plus supposed to mean, but I guess it means something. Plus people continue to face in some 70 countries. You got to scroll down a little bit for me, Professor. Scroll down a little bit there for me, Professor. Okay, right there. Around the world, the federal government must defend the rights and safety of the LGBTQI plus individuals. What the hell is that damn plus keep getting in there for? It
Whoever
is
they come up with.
hey, that plus just like you can throw some mayonnaise on it, you can throw some ketchup on there
If
and everything
if
else.
you identify if you're a person that love monkeys, that's gonna be added to it. If
Wow.
you a child lover, that's gonna be added to it.
If
So
you want to
it
identify as a squirrel, if you want to identify as okay, I get it now. Okay, thanks for that
yeah,
clarification. Thanks for that clarification, Marky Mark. Okay, thank you. It is therefore the
do a
policy
video
of
on that
my
one.
administration. Exactly. We go. That's another video. It is therefore the policy of my administration, whose administration, to combat unlawful discrimination and eliminate disparity that harm LGBTQI. Plus, there it is again, individuals and their families defend. So that plus, I got it. They finna add some more shit on. They're gonna put A, B, C, U, D, A, element O, P. They finna put some more stuff on them. Cause I
Right.
heard that at one point in time they had LGBTQP,
T.
and the P stood for pedophiles. They were trying to like legalize pedophilia. They were saying pedophilia is not a sickness. Pedophilia is actual sexual preference. I remember they was doing that one time before.
Well
That was back in
they've done the legislative portion where it's no longer in the book as a sickness, but they still working on. They've got some different things passed in the slide for
oh man.
pedophi- pedophilia. So
Oh
it'll be added once they soften up the public to it.
wow. Wow,
You
wow,
know how they
wow.
work.
Right. The federal government must take action to address this. They say they're going to take action. What the action there for us? That's our anti-black, hate crime. Okay, I'm gonna move on. The federal government must take action to address the significant disparities that LGBTQI plus youth face in the they messing with the youth now. It's saying LGBT. Well, man, this is a confusing article. I mean, a confusing law. Facing the foster care system. Okay, the foster care. Now, I understand that the misuse of state and local child welfare agencies to target LGBTQI youth and families. They go that plus again, plus youth and families, and the mental health needs of the LGBTI plus the youth. My administration must safeguard LGBTQI plus youth from dangerous practices like so-called conversion therapy, dash efforts to suppress or change an individual's sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. A
Whoa.
discredited practice that research indicates, right, can cause significant harm, including higher rates of suicide, dash related thoughts of behaviors by LGBTQI plus youth. The federal government must strengthen the support for LGBTQI plus students in our nation's schools and other educational and training programs.
Bro,
Wow,
bro, let me interrupt.
wow,
Let me interrupt while it's on my mind.
wow,
Do
wow,
you
wow.
notice how that's worded? You notice how that's worded? That would almost make you think originally that she wants to stop it the way it's worded. But
Right,
she's just saying she want to safeguard it
right,
so you don't. She just want to make it safe for them to transition.
right. She's co-signing it. Right.
Right. But it's word, man. These lawyers are tricky, man.
Yeah. Wow, man. Wordplay at its finest. Scroll down a little bit for Professor.
Yes.
It must also address the discrimination and barriers that LGBTQI plus individuals and families face by expanding access to comprehensive health care. Now they're going to give them free health care, including reproductive health, protecting the rights of LGBT. Wait a minute.
How
How the
can you
hell?
reproduce?
Hold up, man. I'm trying to keep a straight face on this stuff, man. Okay, I'm gonna get through this, man. Y'all bear with me. Y'all just have patience. Protecting the rights of the LGBTQI plus older adults and preventing and addressing LGBTQS2QI plus homelessness and housing instability. Boy, they crowbarring everything in here. Now they're gonna give the LGBTI housing. So if I just claim I'm an LGBT, I can get all the benefits and resources in America.
That's right.
That's
Just
what
like
this
an
sounds like.
immigrant. Just, yep, just like an illegal immigrant.
Man, I'm thinking now, man. I might become LGBT, man. Shoot, I might
Hey,
start identifying.
be like that Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah. Through these actions, the federal government will help ensure that they ain't say specifics, they say every LGBTQI, regardless of who they are or whom they love, has the opportunity to live freely with dignity. Section 2, addressing harmful and discriminatory legislative attacks. Now they're going at the legislative branches. They're
Oh,
going at
now
the
you can't say
senators.
nothing about them.
Right. Right. They finna put stuff in the now. When you see legislative family, that means they finna put some laws into place. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This the meat of the article right here. This the meat of the law. LGBTQI plus children, youth, and families. The Secretary of Health and Human Services, that's your boy. What they call him? What his name is? Ain't
That
that's
that that booty juice.
Booty Juice? Yeah, Booty Juice. That's him. Secretary of
That's
Health and
what
Human Services shall, as
that's what
appropriate. Go ahead. What's it, Mark?
that's what Biden called him.
Booty juice. Biden call him booty
Booty
juice.
juice.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Booty juice. Okay. That's the appropriate name, I tell you that. Shall, as appropriate and consistent with applicable law, use the Department of HHS authorities to protect LGBTQI plus individuals' access to medically necessary care from harmful state and local laws and practices, and shall promote the adoption of promising policies and practices to support health equity, including in the area of mental health care for LGBTQI plus youth and adults. Within 200 days of the date of this order, they say this is a damn order. Damn it. You heard them? They say they ordering. The Secretary of HHS shall develop and release sample policy area. I told you they're going to put some policies in place for states to safeguard and expand access to health care for LGBTQI plus individuals and their families, including mental health services. All right,
So
scroll with me, Professor.
why are they sample policies?
I don't know, man. That's a little bit too far, Professor. Come down just an inch. You missed my paragraph.
Yeah,
Okay.
right there.
Secretary of Education shall, as appropriate and consistent with applicable law, use the Department of Education's authorities to support LGBTQI plus students slash their families, educators, and the school personnel targeted by harmful state and local laws and practices, and shall promote the adoption of promising policies and practices to support the safety, well-being, and the rights of LGBTQI plus students. Within 200 days of this date of this order, the Secretary of Education, not that they said they telling the Secretary of Education, but we ordering you, shall develop and release sample policies for supporting LGBTQI students' well-being and academic success in schools and educational institutions. Section 3, addressing the exposure to so-called conversion therapy. Man, this is a long boy. They covered all points and whatnot for them, huh? The Secretary of HHS shall
So
establish an initiative to reduce the risk of youth exposure to so-called conversion therapy. As part of that initiative, the Secretary of HHS shall, as appropriate and consistent with applicable law, consider number one, consider whether to issue guidance clarifying for HHS programs and services agencies to so-called conversion therapy do not meet criteria for use in federally funded health and human services programs. All right, scroll with me, Professor. All right, consider a little bit down. Consider federally funded and human service programs. Also, increase the public awareness of harms and risks associated with so-called conversion therapy for LGBTQI youth and their family. So it sounds like this conversion therapy is something that maybe the Republicans putting the conversion therapy into the schools, and they going back in it. They countering the laws of whatever they're trying to make these students pretty much at least give these kids time enough to grow up before they start confusing their minds with all this foolishness. Okay,
no, the the
go ahead, brother.
Republicans the Republicans are doing away with it totally.
Oh, okay.
None of it.
Mhm.
But the word,
Okay.
I guess the Republicans call it conversion therapy
Hmm.
because
Gotcha.
that's the little catchphrase. I don't know what they call it though, because they keep saying
Right.
so-called conversion. I
Hmm.
don't know
I
what
hear
it
that.
is.
I hear them saying that. That's kind of getting sadistic. That's kind of getting, sassy with your words, so called.
Yeah, so-called
Right.
Negroes. Sound familiar?
That, yeah, that somebody sassy wrote this whole thing up right here. Somebody had some sassy in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Increase the availability of technical assistance and training to healthcare and social service providers on evidence-informed, promising practices for supporting the health, including mental health of LGBTQI plus youth, and on the dangers of so-called conversion therapy, and seek funding opportunities. Funding. Wait a minute, boss. There goes
Yep.
your word. There goes your word. Seek funding opportunities for providers of evidence based trauma informed services to better support survivors of so called conversion therapy. Survivors, they say, oh man, what he got some wordplay going on to him, boy. The Federal Trade Commission, they put the federal, boy, them big boys, that's when you see federal trade, boy, that's dollar sign, is encouraged to consider whether so called conversion therapy constitutes an unfair or deceptive act or practice and to issue such consumer warnings or notices as may be appropriate. Number C, to address so-called conversion therapy around the world within 180 days of they trying to tell the world what to do now. Damn. Okay, the Secretary of State, in collaboration with the Secretary of the Treasury, the Secretary of HHS, and the Administrator of the United States Agency for International Development, shall develop an action plan to promote an end to its use around the world. Ooh, well, them big words right there. In developing
That's the
the action plan, well,
that's the
yeah, go ahead,
secretary.
Mark. Right, the
The
Secretary of State
secretary.
shall All right. Secretary of
It,
State shall
th-
consider the use of the United. Go ahead, Mark. What was that, brother?
I was just saying that I thought it was booty juice, but it's Xavier Becerra.
Right. That's that big that's big time. That's the one that's the one that declared war on countries. Secretary of State, like Hillary Clinton used to be the Secretary of State at one point in time. She the one
Yeah,
said,
she the
okay,
one that killed.
right, Muammar
Yeah,
Gaddafi. Right, correct. Because he wanted to change the money, right, the money game, right. United
right.
States, right. Okay, so the Secretary of State shall consider the use of the United States foreign assistance programs and the United States voice and vote in unilateral, no, let's say multilateral development banks. Banks, oh boy, it is, and international.
Multilateral.
So they trying to say, right here, they're trying to say, if you're not compliant with LGBTQI policies in your country, we're gonna cut doing trade with you. You're not going to even be able to do money exchange with us. You're not going to be able to buy products. You're not going to be able to do business with us. That's what they're saying. Unless you accept or adopt these LGBTQ. Man, I wish we had that kind of pull for Black Americans. If y'all gonna listen, y'all got to do this for Black Americans, and we're gonna put all these banks in these policies. If y'all don't like Black Americans, then y'all don't like America. They don't do that for us.
So
Why?
so 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 Professor Voss, that's the fact that they can sit down and make this kind of a concise movement for LGBT, but not for us.
Well, you heard what she said. She said you ain't getting shit.
Right.
That's exactly what she said.
But she showed
She
you
said you
very
ain't getting.
clearly that they can.
Wow.
Yeah, they can, right. You know, and see, we were already tricked by Obama. Obama was saying, "Oh, I can't do this. I can't do this." Trump was writing executive orders out the gate. So don't tell me you can't write no damn executive order. He just wrote one. And what would be interesting, all you got to do is take AI and rewrite that. And if you really want to make yourself at least feel some kind of way, just read AI. I'll take that and replace LGT with black. It'll read the same way.
They ain't even got to replace us. Just let us piggyback on that mug. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see,
Like they piggyback all our stuff.
you see,
Yeah, add us to it.
I'm glad you brought that up because what she said was whatever we do for black people, it's going to affect all. But this shit don't say all.
Right,
Hold on. Hold
It
on.
don't,
right.
this specifically say for the LGBT and the I. See,
Wow.
when they messed me up with the I. The I,
And the plus.
yeah, you know, when it comes to sex, I'm real simple with sex, man. But this right here, I need to research intersex. I don't know what the hell is intersex.
I
And
think
then if it's
hey,
intersex,
Juice, play that
is
clip.
there hey, Dr. Juice, let me ask you something. So if there's, I'm just asking questions. So if you got intersex individuals, do we have out of sex individuals? Do we have
Extra
I
sex.
y'all got to educate me because they lost me, bro.
Hey,
Hey,
Juice, play that.
if we got any family members that's
I don't
kind
know.
of affiliated with the LGBT community, can you please come in on the chat or something and just kind of fill us in on what's going on, man? Because I
And
mean we're a little lost and we just trying to get some clarity on this, man.
I'm
Like,
gonna ask this question. I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna leave it alone. Now, y'all fact check me again and correct me. Did you not tell me that most of the black churches, if not all of them, support Democrats?
yeah, yeah.
So, for all the Bible thumpers, call your preachers, and I need help in understanding then if this is a Democrat policy, right?
Mm.
So I need some preachers. I'm not a Christian. I'm non-religious. I don't do Christianity. I don't. But as an educator,
Wow.
I would like for some of these Christian preachers to help me understand how this lines up with their philosophy, biblical philosophy. I want
Yes.
you to help me with that. Help me understand how does this integrate with the preachers. One other thing, I'm gonna shut up. The difference between the preachers now and the preachers when we were colored, a lot of more of the preachers when we were colored, they were educated because they came out of the black schools. These preachers today, if you want to call them that, all they are is self-serving pulpit pimps who can't even pronounce theology. I'll rest that right there, Dr. Juice. I think I made my point.
Right there. Okay. Thank you for that, Professor. Thanks for sharing that legislation, man. They went to work, man. They went into beast mode, man, for the LGBTQI community. Man, I wish they could do just a tenth of percent of that for us, man. Like, and that's what that'll really get me to the polls, commandment. That'll really make me vote
Sure
for you.
will.
Just if you want to
You
know,
know, you want to get me
just so you know what a policy look, I want to show you, since we're talking about policy, I want to show you what a policy look like.
right.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Let's go to some
And
comments real quick.
make
Go ahead, Brother Mark Grant. Go
yes,
ahead. We're
sir.
gonna
Go
go to
ahead.
some comments after you make your statement. Go ahead. We'll go to the comments after that.
Okay. All of these presidents, nobody has made us a protected class as of yet. They made Asians a protected class, LGBTQ, whatever, and everybody else, but they haven't made Black Americans a protected class here in America yet. Get
And
me
that's a
to the polls by
and that's a
making
big
us a
statement.
protected class.
And that's a big statement, Brother Mark and Mark, because our Holocaust has been going on for 500 years and it continues now to this day. And we're still in the middle of our
Even
Holocaust.
longer.
So it more longer than that. So to the Jews, no hate and no shade to you. Y'all got y'all reparations and you get paid off every year and your reparations is over. Matter of fact, your Holocaust took place in a whole nother country and you're getting paid before we getting paid. You're getting reparations. You're getting repair to your spirit, to your culture before us. And our our demise and our Holocaust took place right here on these shores. The blood is still in the soil right now on these shores, and we have gotten nothing. Nothing. That's why
And
we're
on
not coming out. We voting for the couch this year. The couch
yes.
is on. I'm gonna mark in. I'm going to the polls, and I'm gonna write in the couch on the damn ballot. That's what I'm writing in.
And make to add insult to injury, what do? Every year they remind us of our Holocaust with doggone Thanksgiving. What kind of garbage is that?
Wow. To just rub it in, rub salt into the
Rub it.
wounds, huh?
There you go.
Wow. Thanksgiving. That's what Thanksgiving was about, the takeover of this country from the
Exactly.
indigenous, y'all know the indigenous, they call us. They want to make the
The
native Indians and all
aboriginals
that.
of this land.
But we are the aboriginal man of this man. I had a brother and he's a Haitian
Turtle
brother.
Island.
And this is not to all Haitian folks. Because we got some Haitian people come over here and rock with us, man, and get down with us, man. And I love y'all, man. But you got some of these tethers. I call them tethers. They want to just latch off us. They want to just take over our culture. They want to just come here and just act like they us. And then Luke Skywalker, he down there in Miami, getting real greasy, talking real greasy against y'all know. If y'all didn't know, Two Live Crew, Luke Skywalker, he's from Jamaican background. So that's why a lot of these folks are identifying with Kamala because Kamala is looking out for these immigrant groups that come here and try to blend in with us. That's what a tether is. A tether. You remember when you was in high school, you hit that tether ball, and that tether ball was attached to a rope, and it go around that pole, but it was attached to that rope. And after a
Right.
while, that tether ball will get closer, it'll get closer, it'll get closer, it'll get closer till it just latch on to that pole. That's what tethers do. They come here and they act like us. They act like a lot of the crime that's going on in New York and a lot of these urban areas. Those are immigrants. Those are black immigrants. But even when the Republicans report the news, they're gonna make it seem as if it's just all black people, as we just all one big Negro, and that's just not the case. We're not
Right.
just one big Negro. We have an identity here, and that's foundational Black Americans, and we built this country and we founded this country. If you're gonna come here, you're gonna put some respect on that shit. Feel me?
Okay.
That's real. So let's get some comments real quick. Mr. Goodbar said again. Let's put Mr. Goodbar. Kamala can't even answer a question straight up without dialogue or something else to dodge around the truth of a question she does not understand. Thanks for that, Mr. Goodbye. And I totally agree with that. That's called a deflection. That's what that's called, Minister Goodbye. It's called a deflection. Thanks for that, Mr. Goodbye. Mr. Goodbye also say, an illegal gay person, I guess, he says sarcastically, if you identify you are a protected citizen, sounds like to me a place to stay, a job, and not get shot by the police. LOL. Now crowbar that. He says now crowbar that. Try to crowbar that, and that's what. I'm glad you pointed that out, bro, because a lot of them coming here, and then I'm talking about my Latino brothers and sisters too. Y'all come here and get unearned benefits. Soon as you hit these shores, you get unearned benefits. We can't get unearned benefits. We have to go earn everything we get. Thanks for reminding me about that statement there, Mr. Goodbye. Let's see what we got here. The next one on there. We got Mr. Harrington. What's going on, Mr. Harrington? This is my OG right here, man. California, man. West Coast, man. Thanks for joining in today, bro. You got to start tapping in more, bro. You got to start going live with us, too. I told you, send me your email so I can send you a link. Mr. Harrington said, whose IQ test are we taking? Is it the test that they created? He said, how can a white woman or a white man design an IQ test for a black man or a black woman? Wow, that's a good question. If it is based on the education that they teach us, everything about me is different from them. Let's see what else he got there. Did we get some more on that comment? No. My IQ, he said, I guess we didn't get the whole thing in. He says, lifestyle is, he said, my moral compass is different from theirs. My spiritual lifestyle is different from their religion. I will ask the question again. Who is making this IQ test? Great freaking question, Mr. Harrington. Thanks for that question. We appreciate that, my dude. Mr. Goodbye again. He said it shows that the gay party of people got money and that and that's how they did it. He said we are not a nation under God legalizing gay marriage and so on. We are a nation under a certain class of people who has more money than the other. In my opinion, he says. Exactly. And I'm glad you pointed that out again, Mr. Goodbye. See, we want all these things. It's like me, like with religion, right? And I'm not beating up on anybody in religion. But from my understanding, if you pray about something and you got faith in what you just prayed for, why are you continuously praying for the same thing every day, every day, every day, every day, every day, every day? That means you ain't got no faith in the creator and the master. So he's not even listening to you right now at this point. He be like, man, go ahead, man. Stop playing with me, man. So I appreciate you putting that out there, Mr. Goodbye. It's like, because we got to understand, if we want something done in America, we need to start putting our money where our mouth is. Black folks got how much spending power a year, Professor? Give me those numbers real quick. How much spending power do black folks have? Almost $1 trillion out last time I heard.
2
So many
trillion,
trees.
2 trillion, and we would make another country.
Just imagine if we took, of that 2 trillion, we just took 1 billion and put it towards a candidate and stop allowing them to give us and offer us candidates and select our candidates. And we took that $1 billion, we just pulled back on some of this luxury that we love to do. Gucci, Louis Vuitton, taking trips, cruises. We take all that stuff and we just, Jordans and cars with 24s and 28s and big rims and music and fancy cars, Range Rovers, BMWs, and just say, for instance, we just took some of that money and just put it towards a candidate right now for the next 4 years. We gonna start prepping our candidate right now. We ain't rocking with Kamala. We gonna put our own candidate together. We're gonna build us a bionic candidate, and we're gonna take our money and put it. If you don't put your money towards something, man, you're not gonna be able to get anything you want. And speaking of putting your money, speaking where our mouth is, I want to play something real quick for y'all. Bear with me right quick, Professor Marky Mark. Y'all bear with me. I gotta play this. This is my boy have to play this one time when I talk about putting your money where your mouth at, in your own can, and creating some type of wealth building solutions for your community. I just gotta play this, man. This is my dude right here. I rock with this dude so heavy, man, right there. I'm telling you, man.
They're not shooting you because you're black. They're shooting you because of your social economic condition. You're powerless. They know the only thing you're going to do, they shoot 20 blacks tomorrow. Only thing you're going to do is go out and march.
You're either going to go out and march or you're going to go out and pray. That's all you're going to do.
That's all you're going to do. They know that. You have no power and wealth.
Vote for what? Vote for what? Vote for what? Black folk got to learn how to practice group economics. Black Americans spend every penny they get outside their own community.
The economic philosophy of black nationalism only means that we should own and operate and control the economy of our community.
You hear that? Own and control the economy of your community. Do you understand that? Tell me, do you understand that, family? That's big what he just said. Own, and not only own it, control it. Control it.
Community. The political philosophy of black nationalism only means that the black man should control the politics and the politicians in his own community.
Quit letting people.
He said you should own the politics and you should control the politicians in your own community. Not let them give you a commandment. Not let them give you an Obama, a Jedi mind trick, or a black looking people. You need to know who these people are. Think about it, man. Kamala came from nowhere. You ain't known them. You have not known her for more than 2 or 3 years. Obama, he just popped up out of nowhere. You don't even know who he is, where he came from. They just gave him to you. And now we finding out this Negro ain't even American. And Kamala ain't either. They're not American. Just because they went to school here and just because they married an American woman, that don't make you American. Obama married what her name? Michelle.
Michelle, yeah.
Oh man, Michael. Oh man, we're gonna keep that one going there right now.
People mislead you about voting. Voting ain't worth a damn.
Politicians in his own community.
Quit letting people mislead you about voting. Voting ain't worth a damn if you don't have an economy.
You heard what he say? If you don't have an economy. So when you vote and you don't own the economy, it ain't worth a damn.
I have run political campaigns for presidents.
And let me give y'all some science behind Dr. Claude. Dr. Claude created the bill you know as affirmative action. He created that bill. He developed that bill. He was the chairman over the education department of Florida. This guy right here, Dr. Claude Anderson. And that's why they don't want to deal with him no more. They throwed him out. They throwed him out of Florida because he was too pro-black. He was trying to look out for black people. And he said originally that bill, affirmative action, it should be called corrective action so that you can correct the actions that you did against black education. But they changed it to affirmative because it was too precise by calling it corrective.
You take that money off the first. It's money that controls your city council people. I have run political campaigns for presidents, for governors, for attorney generals, for congressional people, for mayors, and city council people. Voting in politics ain't worth a quarter in voting if you don't have an economy. It's money that controls your politics. You take your money on that first floor and the power numbers concepts that I'm trying to get you all to buy into. You take that money off the first floor, you buy every politician on the second floor. Don't worry about voting, buy them.
That's what the Asians do. That's what the Latinos do. That's what the Arab do. Let me tell you something. How many times you been to the polls on election day and vote and bump into a damn Arab at the damn poll? You don't even see them because they don't vote. Half of them can't vote because they don't have the right citizenship. They just come in with their money and buy them and get what they want done and put legislative, like Professor just pointed out to you, legislative policies. That's why the LGBTQI community is so powerful because they buy politicians. They don't be worrying about voting. I digress.
Be Be just like the mafia. Be like the mafia. Just buy them. If you can't, they don't have enough money to buy them, then rent or lease them for a while. You rent and lease him. Then you commission him and say, now on this second floor, now that I bought you, just like all this next election, you can see all this money going into all these candidates, billions and millions of dollars. They're buying those politicians. You buy them on the second floor. And then you tell them on the second floor, now, down to the poweronomics principles, I bought your rear end. You now take your rear end to the third floor. And on the third floor, that's your court system. I don't care.
Courts and the police. Ain't your men keep getting shot up by the police, and you wondering why? You're wondering why, because you don't buy your police officers and your courts. I remember there was an argument going around. They was mad with Trump because he got in the office and he started appointing all these doggone justices in the court system, in the Supreme Court. Duh! Wake up, goofy.
It was the Supreme Court or the local superior courts or county courts or city courts or state courts. You buy them. And you tell them on that second floor in the court system, you start taking care of my people and doing right. The courts control the police department. The third floor is the courts and the police department. The police department would not be killing your people and shoot them down if they knew that you had an economy underneath you. They're going to pull in you. How many of you seen police shooting down Jews, for instance, running? How many times they've been shooting down Asians? How many times you see them heard them shooting down American Indians? They only shoot down black folk. You don't have an economy to dictate to the police department or to the court system.
So our people not only have to be re-educated to the importance of supporting black businesses, but the black man himself has to be made aware of the importance of going into a business. Into a business. And I'm going to play number 4 and number 5 for y'all. He goes into the 4th floor. The 4th floor is you buy communication platforms like Urban Matters, Matter Live Chat, and like Lincoln Avenue Herald. And you control the communication to your people. If you can't communicate with your people, it's impossible for you to win. You have no communication platforms. Everybody owns all the platforms. CNN, those are Jewish platforms. ABC. You have to have a community. You have to have some type of newspaper apparatus, some type of communication, some type of print. Some type of electronic communication. Go ahead, Brother Mark.
Oh, no, I agree. Only thing I would add to that is fear. Consequences and fear. Certain things don't happen to certain groups because they know it's going to be certain type of consequences, whether they be financial or Absolutely. They're going to be physical.
Absolutely.
Because, you see them, they don't talk mess about the Quran. They don't do it. Why?
Nope.
Because it's going to be outrage. Somebody might walk in there with a vest. Somebody going to get hurt if you do that. And sure. Same thing. It's got to be the same thing with us.
Yes, sir.
You mess with us, it's going to be consequences.
Yes, sir. It's
going to be some eye for eye kind of stuff. So,
yes, sir.
Or it's going to be financial. But yes, it has to be some type of consequences because that's the only thing you got to mess. You mess with the money or you mess with physical, then you get some attention. But Absolutely. If you ain't gonna do nothing but pray, you ain't gonna get nothing but prayed upon.
Exactly. Love how you illustrated that, my brother. I love how you illustrated that. Yes, sir. Mr. Carlo, he says, I got a couple of typos on that post up top, family. Y'all, sorry about that. No problem. Listen, man, we take mistakes for love, bro, over here, bro. That's how we doing it over here. That's something guy love, man. That's something that we don't get enough of, man. Guy love and appreciation, man. They make us seem like we just savages, like we can't love on one another, like we can't appreciate one another, man. I hate that. I hate that stereotype, man. Really, I hate that big time. Mr. Goodbar says,
Yeah.
I'm not going to pray or march. I'm going to fight and take over just like our oppressors did if I spelled it right. You spelled it right, bro. Like I say, mistake for love, bro. Mistake for love. He say, buy the MFers you hate until they kill you. Michael Jackson did this tactic in the music industry. Yes, he did. He bought them all up. He bought Sony Records and everything. Who knows what Sony Records mean? What's the acronym for Sony Records?
Oh.
A lot of people think Sony is a Japanese company or Asian company. That's what I thought because of the Sony amps, the amplifiers. I had the Sony tape
Right.
players and all of that. So I thought it was Japanese owned. You know what Sony
Right.
stands for?
What?
Standard Oil of New York. Y'all know who that is, Rockefeller, right?
Yes. That's Rockefeller money.
Yes, sir. Rockefeller. Hey, Mr. Harrington says, yeah, brother, I will be happy to join the show. You brothers have some very interesting topics that I am very interested in. The people need to hear about what's being said on this channel. It's a beautiful thing to see and hear brothers getting it in. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro.
Now-
Thank you for that, bro.
Now,
We appreciate that,
brothers, y'all tell me, because I get down with Dr. Claude. And I've listened to a lot of different people. I think one problem that we do make, which Dr. Claude made, is and we get, we let our little heartstrings get pulled on a little too late.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I mean? We start investing. Let's use Lincoln Avenue as an example in Lake Wales, right? We want to fight to try to get the heritage of Lincoln Avenue back when it's majority owned by the other people.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't get it when it's owned by us.
Wow.
And now we got to pay premium dollar if we want to take control of it again.
Yeah,
well,
the price
my thought, my philosophy, because you got to jump through all their hoops that they create. You got to go through all their red tape that they create. My philosophy is you don't worry about that no more. You use that as a learning tool, and you go buy the land and you create your own land, and you can name one Lincoln Avenue.
Yes, sir.
And you can put a June Young or a Parker Stowe or whatever in remembrance of these people. But that way we create our own tape and we create our own rules because it's our own land. Because Dr. Claude, he lost a lot of money trying to create a black community in cities that were already starting to be gentrified. And I know you want to be there because of the numbers, but you lose a lot of money that way. Best thing to do is create your own from the start where you got full control of it from the start.
Yes, sir.
And that way we can put our own Lincoln Avenue up. We can put our own Ohio Street up. We can put our own Austin Street up. We can put our own whatever up, and we got it. What y'all think?
So, Brother Mark, let me piggyback on that real quick. So we already have a digital Lincoln Avenue, and we own it right now. Okay. Where in the history of our existence as someone from Lake Wales have the ability to do what we're doing now? Do you realize what we're doing now? We own Lincoln Avenue. We have a digital Lincoln Avenue. We got somebody in Ghana right now listening to us. We got somebody in California listening to us. And then we got ghost watchers all over the place watching us. When have we been able to do that? Throw that graph up, Dr. Juice. I got another chart for you. So we're gonna expand our digital Lincoln Avenue as time go on. Now, I got a question for you. If Black people have a $2 trillion purchasing power, how is it that our wealth is at the bottom? Explain that to me, Dr. Juice.
Either we're being misrepresented or we either that or that's actual factual information where we don't we don't use our money to gain assets. We don't invest in assets. We don't invest in tangible uh, property that will reflect our wealth in America.
How about you, Brother Mark? I got another graph for you.
I had to mute him for a minute. He had a little background, or we'll bring him back in.
No, I'm moving.
There you
I
go.
know
There
I'm
you go.
moving. So I think Dr. Juice hit it pretty good. I think we're financial babies. That's the reason. A lot of the basics we haven't been taught. It hadn't been passed down through the generations because our elders either didn't know or they didn't show, one of the two. And so therefore we are financial babies, and I hear the term generational wealth said a lot, but it's hard to start generational wealth when you don't have your generations involved in whatever it is you're doing. And so if people say generation involved, and that so that's part of it. We have to learn the steps to create what it is that we want to create for our family and make sure that we're ready. And I don't think we're ready, and that's why as we get money, we spend it trying to get all the things we ever wanted.
I'll give you my answer.
What say you?
I'm going to give you my answer. Million dollars, Juice. So, I'll ask you, Dr. Juice, what educational institutions do we have in the black community today, Dr. Juice? Now that we traded ownership for integration, what do we have left?
The only thing we have left, and I don't know if there's so much of an educational institution, is the black church.
Okay, it's the black church. Now, you see this new chart that I have where the LGBTQ people, they left out the I. I'll include the I out of respect. They also have $1.4 trillion of purchasing power. You know what the difference is, Dr. Juice?
What's that?
They're organized.
Yep, they're organized.
So if the black church is the only institution, you don't want to say that they educate. So what education, what type of education are black people receiving that applies to them in terms of their economic conditions in America? Where did they get that education from, Dr. Juice?
You said the LGBT community?
No, I'm saying where are black people getting their education from? Where they're getting that? Where the black right now? Think about it. When you traded ownership for integration, even in your own community, you shut down Roosevelt in 1970. So you haven't had a black institution to educate you on economics, politics, social studies, and those churches that you're talking about in your communities. You said that that's the only institution you have. There's no church that you can go into your community right now and have this discussion. They're going to tell you, Brother Johnson, we only talk about Jesus in here. We only talk about Jesus.
Right.
So where are you getting the education from, Dr. Juice? We have our, and again, I want to honor you, brothers. This is an educational platform. We have a demographic that don't have an appetite for Jesus. They have an appetite. They have an appetite for economic wealth. They have an appetite for better understanding their political positions as black men in this country. But you can't talk about it in them churches. So where do you get it from? How do you organize? When the last time you had a voter's registration if you're going to vote? When the last time have you organized outside of the church in your community in a positive way? Help me with that.
It's unheard of.
Why? Why?
Because our black leaders they're not organized enough to have a cohesive inter community approach when it comes to political organizations. They literally take the lead from their open enemy, and that's how they're organized. And they taking leads from their open enemy. They're not really saying, hey, they're not really addressing. First off, they need to have some type of data collection in the community to find out what is the needs of the community here in 2024. When have the last time have they took a collection besides tithes and offering? There's no pun intended. When has the last time they took a serious look at the community and said, okay, let's address let's collect data on where the disparities are in Lake Wales, and let's address these issues by those disparities. Most of their blueprint is from. I mean, they're just winging it at this point, and they're just literally like praying for knowledge. They're asking God to just give them something when He probably already gave them some type of idea on what to do, but they're taking their lead from, like I say, their open enemy, and their open enemies and foreigners are coming here running circles around them in our communities. Take, for instance, the Arabs come and exploit our community. They own every corner store. They owning all the properties in that area. So we just sit back like zombies and just watch our communities be infested and taken over by foreign powers.
So put that chart up. Put that chart up again. I got another chart for you right quick, and I'll rest my case. And I know this is gonna sound ugly, but it's gonna be ugly.
Bro Mark, we got your back. You're a little loud, but we got your back. Just mute your phone, Bro Mark, and then I won't have to mute you. Mute your phone when you're not talking.
Okay, I just pulled over so I can answer that question.
Okay. Let Brother Mark answer that real quick, Professor.
Our biggest problem, like you say, is lack of organization. But almost the same reason we don't yell the fact that we're Cherokee or we're Sioux or we're whatever type of Indian in our blood, it has been beaten out of us in a way to where every time we go to organize, remember, they burned down our whole city. They burned down our entire area. They killed a leader. So it makes us afraid as a people to come together. And then also, like we spoke about a couple weeks ago, in each of our little communities, the areas that we had where we could come together, we're so spread out now to where it's hard to get everybody to come together. And then on top of that, so many people out there on the plantation, and they working 12-hour shifts to where once they finish working that shift, they too tired to invest time into. Now we have technology. You can come online at your house, but they don't even want to do that a lot of the time because they're so tired. So we deal with a time bandit also, economic and a time bandit. So those are the barriers that we have to cross. But thank God for technology, because we can at least get them to come and participate right here on Lincoln Avenue. And that's what we need. That's what we're working toward. Correct, Professor Boss? You can mute me now, bro.
Yes, sir. This is a digital Lincoln Avenue for sure. This is a digital Lincoln Avenue for sure. And so I want to go back to the educational data, right? This is the educational data. And my hypothesis is this. If your students are on the bottom, if their academic performance is on the bottom in English, language, and arts, and math, what does that say about the adults? What does that say about the adults? So, again, I'm going to pick on the church because you keep telling me I don't have nobody else to pick on. You're telling me that's the only institution left in the community. So what responsibility at this point in the community do you think that they should have in the educational process? And I'm going to tell you right away, by looking at these scores, if you're on the bottom academically here in English, language, and arts, and math, I don't have a level of confidence that you even know how to read the Bible. So what type of solutions, Dr. Juice, Brother Mark, do you think that the church could provide? Or do we need to abolish all the churches and create new institutions?
Well, if we abolish the church, we're going to abolish a lot of our loved ones. I wouldn't use the term abolish, but I think we need to have an alternative platform when it comes to connecting with the community as far as education and as far as, to be honest with you, as far as faith. Because faith can be used several different ways. Faith doesn't have to be religiously based. Faith could mean socially believing in your community, and it could also mean being a what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of times in church they use this term, being a disciple for your community.
Well, I'll just, again, share data that I've observed, unless you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Mhm.
I use that strong word for a reason.
Gotcha.
I use that strong word because there was a time that the Black church was a one-stop all for the community.
I gotta agree with you on that.
So when you traded ownership for integration, all that went away in the Black church, along with their close association with the Democrat Party. So what I've seen now, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but the so-called leaders and preachers and doctor and bishop and prophetess and all of these names that they have, that's all self-serving. That's all self-serving. All I'm seeing is a bunch of people who, in my opinion, have low self-esteem, and they got to show the world that hey, I can spit out 10 Bible verses in 5 seconds, so that makes me special. And I'm going to go around with my chest stuck out, and you're doing absolutely nothing to enhance the community. And I go as far as saying you're degrading the community when I look at the data. When I look at the data around, how are you going to have 50 churches, but you got 9 homicides, in the community? How is it that you're not connecting with the young people? See, let me explain something to you. Again, there's a time when I was growing up, you would sit in church and listen to whatever the preacher had to say, and you'll take that for face value, right?
Right.
Well, these young people, when they sit there and listen, if they do, they fact checking while they're listening to all this. For instance, they're saying, wait a minute now, y'all digging up mummies. Way before Christ. You're digging up pharaohs. You're digging up these. They're Googling this. And they say, well, wait a minute. I want to find, well, where the apostles buried. I want to go to their grave site. I mean, I'm going to Egypt. I'm looking at this mummy that existed before Jesus. I want to find Matthew. I want to find Mark. No pun and stuff. Not that Mark.
They go Mark right now. Yeah, I know Mark right now.
While I'm at the stoplight, let me chime in real quick. I agree. That's why you say Mark.
There go damn Mark right there. We found Mark. Go to another one now.
And so, yes, they're fact checking. I think the church is a very valuable piece to our puzzle. I think what we cannot do is make it so Bible thumping, so in what we do. They have to bring their numbers in with us so we all can make this happen together, and we don't have to even talk about what we believe other than what we believe our community can be.
Absolutely. Professor?
That's real hard for me to visualize, Dr. Juice, and let me tell you why. Again, that might be if I'm putting myself in some of the people that I see, what Brother Mark is talking about, that's going to degrade my image. That's going to make me become a little humble. And if I'm Dr. Bishop, Prophet, Prophetess, and Pastor, and all these names that I am, I don't want to lose that because, number one, I can't do nothing else. Most of these pastors that I see, they don't have real world skills. If you took that away from them, they would starve to death. What can they do? Why, if they were so great and close to Jesus, then why aren't they teaching these boys some skills? Why aren't they teaching the same people who can't read in their congregation how to read? Why aren't there more men? Why does it have to be 80% females? Why do you have to prey on the working women? There was a time, there was a time you had deacons and ushers and all. I don't see a lot of that anymore. I see a bunch of women being pimped, is what I see. And since women by nature are emotional, and since emotions can be manipulated, we're seeing that. How do you make change to that if you're going to make a positive social change in the community? Help me with that. I'll wait.
Well, I think too, they always are saying that the black men are just not interested in the Lord, and we're not participating in religion, and you guys are not being accountable for your families in your community because you don't come to church and you don't attend church. What do you have to say to that, Professor?
I have to say that most of a good many of the congregations that I see with male, they don't want you. First of all, they really don't want you in church because, and this gonna sound ugly, but let's just we keep it 100 on this thing. I see older women. I don't see the younger women. I see older women who are in the church who they have made Jesus their man. That preacher don't want men in the church. You don't because then if the man in the church, you're gonna regulate how much tithes that your woman put in the church. You say, no, baby, we can't, no, man, we got bills to pay. But she gets emotional about her state. He's convinced that the more money that you put into Jesus, then that's going to help solve your problem. No work, ain't no man going to work hard. You going to think, imagine this, Dr. Juice. You out there working hard, you sweating, right? And then You gonna go get this pulpit pimp your money? That's why you got 80% women in the church. It's money. It's business. It ain't got nothing to do with hate. It ain't got nothing to do with bashing. I'm a businessman. I'm talking to you from a business perspective. If I could be a preacher, I spit game to be a preacher. So if I was a preacher, I would want women in my church. Why? Because they're employed. Brother Ma just told you, we ain't got no money. We ain't employed. So I need women in my church. I need women in my church that got jobs. And I'm going to manipulate their emotions. I'm going to make them fall in love with Jesus. And I'm going to make them fall in love with me because I like to wear nice clothes and I want to ride a nice car. And I know if I hype these women up and I manipulate their emotions, they going to spend money with me. I'll be like Chris. And I love Creflo Dollar. He the real pimp because he got them while he preaching. I've never seen a preacher like this. Creflo a bad boy. While he preaching, he got people bringing him money. Wow. He cold-blooded. I like Creflo.
Wow. Yes. Thanks for that, Professor. Thanks for sharing that with us. Mark, you got anything to that? Let me tune you in because I have to block out. Hold on, Mark. Hold on. All right, go ahead.
Okay, I pulled over again. Yes, black men or men, black men just not really up for all the motivational speeches and whatnot. We want substance. Let me lay up the window. Am I getting a lot of that background?
It's all right. You can hear it. It's a little bit louder when you're driving, so it's good now.
Right. Okay. We want substance. Yeah, we want a little bit of motivation, but we want substance. Don't go in my pocket unless I can see something coming through it. I am not going to keep giving you money, and the only thing I'm going to see is you driving a Mercedes, or we're going to keep hoping for the building fund. No, I want to see something. And when I hear that little sister over there with 3 kids, when I hear her lights went out and the preacher didn't do nothing to get them turned back on, then I have a problem. So little stuff like that, that's what men look for. We about, did you do this? Did you do this? But see, women are about, oh, but the pastor prayed for, and all that type stuff. See, we don't move like that. I want the pastor to do something, not pray. He can pray while he handing her the money. But these are, but in order for us to move forward, we have to, I think, if we just, like you say, Professor, that preacher, he feel like the man of his house, the church. Even though God is supposed to be the man, these egos get involved and the preacher feel like he the man because that's his pimp game. We get it. But if we get him, not his flock, but we get him and we have a conversation, do you gentlemen think we might be able to get a little further and have him go back to his flock because he know how to tickle the strings of his flock? And because the most important thing we want is stuff for our community to get accomplished. What say you?
Hell no, Brother Mark, because that preacher, think about it. That preacher's a man too. He got bills to pay. You messing with my money, bro. Now he ain't gonna tell you that. But he a man. You can't mess with a man's money. What you talking about right now, you messing with his money. Like I said before, look at a lot of these pastors. They can't do nothing else. They don't have any real world skills. They have no real world skills.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going to tell you like this. If we, you know what? Woo! I had a couple people tell me this, but we might have to, we might have to go into their territory, because we have to create a new platform, a new spiritual platform that not only address our spiritual needs but also address our economic needs, because it's very important, and also our security needs. Cause in these times, man, this King Alfred plan is being unfolded before us.
Yes, it is.
So,
And
brother Mark,
yes, sir.
your spiritual needs are very simple. Let me explain that to you. Those folks love Jesus. Why? Jesus died on the cross for your sins, right? Pretty much it. He died on the cross for your sins. Am I right? Is that what they say? Your ancestors got raped. Your ancestors got hung on a tree like Jesus. There are all sort of horrific things that happened to your ancestors so that you could drive that car right now without getting pulled over and snatched out and getting killed, because you know they used to do that to you. But you had ancestors to die fighting so that you could
Yes,
drive
sir.
that car without being harassed or killed. To me, I get spiritually filled when I even think about that. I get spiritually filled, and then we want to talk about this whole sexual dysfunction. It wasn't good enough to hang your great granddaddy and your granddaddy without cutting his sexual organs off and sticking it in his mouth. So when you tell me about somebody dying on the cross, what about my ancestors who died and suffered in this country so that we could even sit here on this platform and even have the kind of discussion that we're having right now? So there's your spiritual base right there. I don't see what the problem is. Well, I do see what the problem is. Reverend Hamhawk ain't gonna let you mess his money up.
Hey, but like I say, family, let me chime in a little bit. Just like everything else that needs reform, I definitely think our religious platforms need to be reformed. I think they need to be revamped. I think they need business studies to come in, because let's just keep it about 100. Religious institutions are a business. Yeah, I think that's what Professor is getting to. They need money. They need money changers. They need some type of economic empowerment. And I just think that they should be a bit more business based when it comes to the community and teaching business administration. And I think I think they should be part of the educational platforms too in our communities, because think about it, you got all that real estate sitting there 5 days of the week empty. You know what you can do with that kind of real estate? You know what type of programs could be implemented? You know what type of homeless people could be helped? Do you know what type of troubled youth centers you could have running out of those establishments? There can be a lot that can be done, but I don't know if it's, just the black community is so embargoed in their personal day to day affairs, or I just don't know if I think it's just lackluster. I think it's just a lack of will. I think it's a lack of determination. I think it's a lack of. We're so used to. I got a buddy of mine, Dry Bones. Y'all know Dry Bones and on the Dry Bones connection. He has a favorite saying. He says, "America has the best kept slaves." And what he's meaning by that, the best kept mental slaves. We're still in that mental enslavement. We still have those shackles on our minds to where we just want to sit back and let our open enemy and our masters control and initiate and guide everything we do in our food. We don't even provide the foods for ourselves nowadays. That's why we have so many health issues. It's a lot of things we could implement in our communities. And I think that has a lot to do with why our communities are in the condition they are in. We don't we just won't take initiative, and we won't take charge, and we won't, even with the education of our own children, we depend on white women to educate our kids who don't have the well beneficial concern about our kids. I'm telling you, I had this problem with one of my grandbabies. And I know my grandbaby was so as sweet as she can be. And I think sometimes they mistake our kids' aggressiveness and they have a lack of engagement when they engage our children in these educational platforms, and they don't know how to engage black kids. They don't know how to. If you can't engage a black kid the proper way, you won't be able to educate them. And so I think that we put that too much responsibility and accountability of the education of our children into the hands of our open enemies who have no concern or no will to do what's pretty much our job. And I think that's a lot of what's going on with the church. A lot of the church, the spirituality and the preface of what we're learning, it's not truly our true spirituality that we learned in ancient times. And I think that has a lot to do with why the church is failing too, because uh, Brother Nick brings it sometime to the platform. He says that in the book of, I think it's the book of Obadiah, the first chapter, and I think it's also in, what's the other chapter? It's the ninth chapter of something where God says, I love Jacob, but I hate Esau. So God does give you the authority to hate him at some point in time. He's a God of wrath. He kills when it's appropriate. He punishes when it's appropriate. So he said, I hate Esau. In your modern Esau, the modern tribe of Esau is your modern day white man, Caucasian. I'm just keeping a buck 100. Now, don't get mad with me. Get mad with the creator, because that's the word. I digress.
Pull that screen up, Dr. Juice.
You want to see that? Okay.
Pull that screen up.
I'll pull it up for you. Yes, sir. Give me a second here. See, you have to know your tribes of Israel. You have to trace that back. It's Romans 9. So let me pull that up real quick for the family. Romans 9, ninth chapter. And that's in the King James. I don't make this stuff up now. I don't make this stuff up. Let's pull it up. Here we go. King James. Here it is right here. Let me pull it up real quick for you. And I'm going to pull up the Obadiah version too. And so I like I say, certain parts of the Bible I agree with. I mean, I ain't, I'm not that type of person. So let's go to it right here. Let me pull it up real strong for you. And it says it right here. I said the truth in Christ. I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Ghost that I have great heaviness and continued sorrow in my heart. And so, for I could wish that myself. So let's go down right here. And he says to the elders, okay, let's see if we can find it. He said, is it right here? Here it go. Let me see if I see it. I see it right here. As it is written, the 13th verse. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau I hated. There it is right there. And you can take it and translate it in whatever you want to, but hate is hate. And people say God don't hate. There it is right there. In the right, it is written. And so let's go to Obadiah 1. We go to Obadiah 1. Obadiah. Let's see. Obadiah. Let me see. Y'all know how these Bible verses are. You got to know how to spell them right. IAH 1. King James. Let's put it up. I got to start sharing that one. Get on this one here. Now, these ain't my words. Don't get mad at the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger, family, please. Here we go right here. I think it's around the 11th. Shall Zion drunk upon another. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. You say Esau need to be destroyed. Hey, listen, I hope I ain't ruffling no feathers, but there it is, man. There it is.
I got a picture for you to throw up, bro, G.
Yes, sir.
I got a picture for you to throw up.
Throw it up.
It's there. It's waiting on you.
Okay, let's see. I don't see it. Okay, here we go. Okay.
It's a little different path here. That man right there is a United States Army veteran. That is a United States Army veteran. Black men in America, foundational, have served in every American war.
Yeah, yes, sir.
We've sent billions of dollars to Ukraine. We're sending billions of dollars to Israel and other places in the world. So how is it that a black man can serve this country, give his life to this country, and wind up like that? Help me with that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what a lot of the naysayers would say. Hold on, Mark. I don't think we got you. Hold on. I think Mark trying to say something. I think you're on mute, Mark. I think you got your cell phone. Oh, you driving, huh, Mark? Okay. Well, I think if you let the naysayers tell it, Professor, I think that a lot of them would say maybe he struggles from drug and alcoholism. That's what they like to write it off on.
Well, I mean, so again, his special circumstances. I mean, he's a black man. He's been traumatized. He has no hate. He has no hate bill. He has no policy around his well-being. He's trying to cope. Some people cope with Jesus. Other people cope with drugs and alcohol.
Yes, sir.
We're all trying to cope.
Yes, sir.
Why isn't the black church doing more for the homeless?
Real quick, gentlemen, this is another one that I'm ultimately passionate about is veterans. Because here's my thing. Why in this country, our politicians, their health care, they can go to any hospital in the U.S., whip out their little card, and they're taken care of. But somebody who put their life up for this country, who offered their body up for this country, whether you went to war or not, you gave the country the opportunity to use you in any way it saw fit. Why is it that we don't have a card where we can go to any hospital? Why do we have to go to our one little place, the Veterans Hospital?
Yes, sir.
That is so wrong. And we shouldn't have to have all these other groups to do something as simple as give us our proper benefits. And here in America, they give you all that lip service. Oh, thank you for your service and all that. Right. You know, that's just a normal response since Vietnam and how they treated veterans. Now they want to give you better lip service. But once again, give veterans something that's substantial too, which is give us a card with our retirement or with our discharge papers where we can go get health care anywhere. And stop sending us to one place where we have to wait in line like welfare moms. That ain't right.
That's great. That's a great point. Brother Mark. Thanks for that POV. And like we was talking earlier, about why the specifics get done for LGBT. I think our veterans should definitely be one of the most specific items on the elections agenda before anybody, I believe, because without the veterans, there would be no America. And I salute both of you gentlemen for serving in our armed services. And I thank y'all for y'all service. And that's just from the bottom of my heart. That ain't something that I'm just rolling off
Yes,
my
sir.
tongue. You know what I'm saying? I really
Right.
appreciate that because y'all are the ones that make America great. Y'all are the ones that every time that come out of Trump's mouth, he should say, hey, let us help our veterans make America great again. And I mean, man, you put a real great perspective on that just then, Brother Marky Mark. And
Yep.
like I say again, I salute you and the professor for your services and protecting this country and making this country what it is, and making it
We
a
were talking,
place to raise my grandkids and have freedoms. Yes, I
we were
appreciate
talking
that.
about we were talking about policies, Dr. Juice,
Yeah,
and
policies.
we just read you just read policies that had health care included. They had health care included. So
Right.
why a black man can't get that? Where's his policy?
Man,
He on the street with a cup.
man, correct. Healthcare, and not only healthcare, education. And if I read that policy right, LGBT was getting all types of
Yeah.
gifts and services and
Lack of housing discrimination and
housing,
whatnot.
and yeah, man. Hey, man, come on, man. Come on, man.
So
It was a lot of stuff.
So,
That thing was heavy.
so that's like a strong arm tactic, basically. So now, if you refuse me, and let's say my credit score could have been low, but I can say, "Are you really discriminating against me because I'm LGBT? I think you're discriminating against me because of my sexual preference." And see, now that company have to kind of back out of it because they don't want to go through legal issues, and then they get somebody who's unqualified housing.
Yes, sir.
So, because just like they strong armed the American people in many ways for bathrooms, for being called marriage instead of a union, all that type stuff, you know. So I think that's another strong arm tactic that they just opening the door for. I'm gonna mute while I move.
Okay.
so why can't your friend Miss Kamami, Dr. Juice, address this issue? Here's a veteran.
I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna get in touch with her, man, and I'm gonna ask her.
You
Because
know, man, you
I'm
know,
doing all I can do to defend her, man. And I'm really rocking with you, Kamala, Kamami, or whatever you want to be called, Kamala, or you know, stop confusing us with mumbo jumbo, and let's sit down and have a real conversation, and let's have a real discussion. And we got these guys putting pressure on me, and I'm trying to defend you, but I'm running out of time here. Let's get some comments in real quick, y'all, real quick for the fellas. Yeah, brother, I will be okay. He said I will got we happy that we already got that one. We already got that limit. Okay, we got that one. We had a couple of more comments from the brothers. Let me get them in, y'all. I know we had a couple of more.
you want my damn vote, but you got a black man
Right.
out in the street like
Right.
this.
Yeah, Mr. Harrington says we don't invest in ourselves enough. We invest in everybody else but us. These public schools are not teaching us how to become business owners. We should have our own banks right now. I don't understand how we can have so many churches and not our own. Let's see what he got right here. And not our own banks. The church is the problem. We need establishments. We need establishments away from the church. Mr. Harrington says. What do y'all think about? I think Mr. Harrington was kind of piggybacking off of what, and that's the thing about it, man. All that money that's collected at church, why the church can't be a bank?
Well, let's pull up some data. Let's see how much they collect during the year. I have that data. Hold on.
That's a good question. That's a good point that brother just made.
Yeah, here we go. We'll pull that up.
The church should be able to be a bank. All that money they collect. 50 years of collections, man, I'm talking trillions. I wonder how much they made in 50 years, Professor.
Well, watch this. I got
I'm not sure. I don't. I'm not sure if my mic is good right now because I'm moving.
Huh?
Is it all right?
Yeah, you real clear.
Okay.
here you
Um,
go.
I just personal experience. I knew a brother who made $40,000 a week on average at a church. He was a preacher.
Wow.
He had bad credit, and they wouldn't loan him nothing. And he went through. He squandered that money like nobody business. And I use him as an example because so many times, as Professor Ball said, it's ego, it's ego, it's ego. And when the more money you make, the more money you spend. And we're not trying to create anything for the community or for our family. We're only worried about the now when that type of money is going through your fingers. So I say you're right, because to start a credit union, you only need like I think $260,000 to start a credit union,
Mm.
and a bank is a little more. Professor Balch, you could check that for me. Let me know.
There's the data for you right there. 420 billion, sir. 420 billion, and 45% of the homeless people in LA are black. Make that make sense.
Mm, 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 mm,
420 billion. There's the data for you.
mm, mm.
So
That's some big data.
right, and then here's the other thing. For your dear friend, Mr. Mammon. What confuses me is that how much money did they raise overnight for her?
Was it 80 million? Something like that in one night.
Right. So I'll look that up. So if they were able to raise that in one night, why haven't they been able to raise money for their own communities that way?
Mm. Let's read our brother right here. Mr. Goodbar say 70s and 80s hustlers were our police officers in our community of Lincoln Avenue. They sent our hustlers to prison and significantly raised the taxes on the business owners of Lincoln Avenue that they couldn't handle it. Evidence as a little boy remembering when whites or police officers didn't come down Lincoln Avenue and your black aide did not go across the tracks unless you worked for the white man. That was a great history lesson there, Professor.
There you go, Dr. Juice. You can throw that screen up. I just want to talk about this right quick.
Okay.
Now, I don't believe that 81 billion was all black folks' money, but I'll ride with it. The point is, they raised $81 million in one day for a woman who told you she ain't gonna give you shit. Make that make sense?
Right.
81 million. She said you ain't getting nothing.
Wow.
You mean to tell me? You mean to tell me that $81 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
You mean to tell me they couldn't set aside 81? How about 10 million? You got $70 million left. So why couldn't you set aside $10 million for black businesses and contracts, not jobs? You know what? If you wanted me to vote for your friend, Miss Kamami, if she would have said, hey, I'm going to put $10 million for startups and business education specifically for black entrepreneurs, I would go down there and camp out to vote. I would literally go down there and camp out to vote for her if she said that. But she already told me what she gonna do for black people, and that's nothing. What do you think about that?
gonna listen to a real quick track, real quick, fellas, and we're gonna try to wrap this thing up real quick here in a minute. And we made some great points tonight, man. Great point, great material. I appreciate that. We're gonna listen to what Dr. Umar said about Democrats.
How much they lost out on not catering to the grassroots black vote. And as a result of that, the next election in 2028, they'll be eating out of your hands. The same thing in America. Don't give the Democrat your vote. Show them that you will no longer be taken advantage of. Yeah, you may have to deal with a Republican president for 4 years, but guess what? The Democrats haven't been no walk in the park either. Show the Democrats that if you don't deliver on the things that matter to us, not to the Chinese, not to the immigrants, not to the homosexuals, to black people, show us that we matter and we will return the vote to you. The best way to influence the political process is to not participate in it in one election cycle and let the power structure see your power. But it's not likely to happen. You know why? Because the ANC, the EFF, just like the Republicans and the Democrats and everybody else, they make black people, there's a tendency to make black people feel bad for not participating in the electoral process. They tell you things like, you know, your ancestors died for you to have a right to vote. No, they didn't. Nobody died for you to have the right to vote. They died for you to be free. They died for liberty. They died for justice. They died for equality. They saw the vote as the quickest means to achieve that. But now, 29 years after apartheid, we can clearly see, as you guys are going into your 6th election cycle, I believe it is, voting ain't going to change nothing in South Africa. So withdraw from the political process. Show them your power. In the next cycle, they'll eat out of your hands.
Everything he just said was spot on, and there's nothing.
There it is. There it is. Let me play another quick video real quick about how the Democrats try to influence people. And this is kind of show you what's going on. And man, this is going to kind of break it down right here, man. Real heavy for you. Let's see. I got it right here.
You're really showing how low your IQ are, Dr. Juice.
Exactly. I'm showing how low my IQ is. Watch how this brother outsmart Luke Skywalker.
Premises in my belief, but I also think that the Democrats are equally.
Listen to this brother real quick, y'all.
I waited. I was patient. I waited my turn to speak. I waited for about maybe an hour, to be honest. Totally, from when I got, but okay, I got bought up. So this is what happened last night on Twitter. It was so much of a big deal. I literally changed my topic. I was going to talk about something totally different. I changed my topic to discuss this. So this is what happened in the space. And I want you guys to pay. We're going to.
Okay, I got to move right along here.
Visual, you can't really see anything. So you just can't see anything. But I want you guys to pay attention to
the point I'm trying to, why I'm playing this, family. I want y'all to see how these younger folks, this generation Z, they ain't having it. These young folks are pretty sharp and they are educated beyond a lot of the mammying and the samboing that we are used to from our baby boomers generation. No pun intended, Professor. But just showing you that these folks are sharp. These young folks are sharp, and they're just not going to be finessed like that this year.
What Luke says, because these are the common arguments that we face when we deal with these shills. So this is why I broke it down, and I recorded it so I could break this down, because I knew he was going to kick me off eventually.
Okay, I got to move right along here.
Yeah, I got you. Look, I want to address Dre Day, right?
Hold
I'm just addressing your initial comment.
Afro Elite is on you. Afro
Are you
Elite.
moving on? I was going to address Dre Day real quick.
No, let me get you. Let me get Afro Elite.
I see it. I see it. It's cool. You got it.
I got you. Afro Elite, come on.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I muted the room. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
He does that a lot.
You can hear me, right? Because I have my Bluetooth on, so I just want to know I can be heard.
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Now, this gentleman right here, he said he already had set the stage. I've kind of fast forwarded it past that part for y'all real quick. But he said that what he did, he told them that it's immature and it's childish to say somebody's a Trump supporter just because they don't support the Democrats. There we go. So he said what he did, he made them come to the point to where they can't like use that. They won't be able to deflect it at because he already told them if you try to use that on me, you childish and you don't really have a great discussion and you don't really have an articulate way how you have a conversation.
Okay. I want to say that a lot of people who have criticisms for Harris does not mean that they support Trump. I think that that's a disingenuous point to make. I think that that's really a straw man argument. Just because one person doesn't like or endorse one candidate does not mean at all that they support the opposite party, does not mean that they support Donald Trump, does not mean they support Republicans or his policies or anything like that. I think the people who really can't find a legitimate defense for the criticisms that Harris is facing, they make this straw man argument and they say, well, you just support Donald Trump. That is a way to deflect from all of the criticisms Kamala is facing. That's a way to deflect from that because people do have legitimate criticisms. I reposted a video. A lot of people are saying that when she was interviewed, being asked about reparations, and she said no, a lot of people said that that was taken out of context. I found a video of her in a debate where she was asked the exact same type of question, only in regards to immigration and what she was going to do when it comes to DACA. And she gave a list of specific things that she was going to do to specifically repair their grievance. And this is what a lot of people are saying. People are saying not that we don't want her to do anything for anybody else, but when it comes to us, we only get what everybody gets, but other people get things specific to them. There's been legislation that she's specifically pushed for illegal immigrants, for DACA, for asylum seekers. There's been specific legislation she's pushed for LGBT, for trans rights, for reproductive rights, for all of these things. There's been specific things she's pushed for specific groups of people, except when it comes to us as Black Americans who are descended from slavery. This is what we're saying. And when we address that, it gets deflected into, well, what is Donald Trump going to do? Donald Trump is not the conversation. You can dislike two people at the same time. You can dislike and disapprove of Donald Trump. I don't endorse Donald Trump. I did not vote for Donald Trump the first time, the second time, and I will not vote for Donald Trump now. I don't support Donald Trump. I don't support the GOP. I don't support Republicans. All of them are white supremacists in my belief. But I also think that the Democrats are equally as complicit in the subjugation and the oppression of Black Americans.
Now, I'm going to pause it right here and say, we already got 200 people. We less than 10 minutes in, got 200 people in here. Y'all, please make sure y'all hit that like button. I see you, Earth Angel. I see you, Donna, already with the 100.
So like I say, the brother, he trapped him. He trapped him. I want to play some more of that, but let y'all kind of hear how the brother, how he can y'all still hear it?
Yes, we can.
Deflection. The whole time I spent discussing, almost half the time I spent is saying you can dislike Kamala without supporting Trump. You can dislike two different people. And I specifically made sure I blocked that whole, well, you just really secretly support Trump. That's why I said it's childish. And you only do it because you don't have a defense for her criticism. So you deflect to Trump. By me doing this, I essentially blocked any chance of them bringing Trump into the conversation. By me saying it's childish to bring Trump up, you're bringing Trump up because you don't have a defense for her legitimate criticisms. her or the party's legitimate criticisms. By me saying that if they ever do bring Trump up, it proves my point that they can't stand on Kamala's background. They can't stand on her and her own validity and her own credibility as a candidate. They can't do that without bringing Trump up. So it's almost as if I set this trap, like they're playing checkers and I'm playing chess here. I set this trap up to where they can't bring. That's the very first thing I said. The first thing I said when I went in there, and I still got more to play. The first thing I said when I went in there, I didn't diss Kamala. I didn't do anything. The whole argument that she's not black, we get that. We know she's not black. You're not going to convince them because that becomes this very repetitive argument about, oh, no, you saying Bob Marley ain't black. You saying Marcus Garvey ain't black. You saying no. That's time wasting. We can have those conversations amongst ourselves. We know amongst ourselves Kamala is not black at all. We know that. But what we want to argue with them is policy, because let's be very honest, whether she's black or not, if she was a black Jamaican or FBA, what is her policies? If she don't support reparations, she don't support black families because she be locking them up. She don't support deportation of all of these harmful illegal immigrants. What are we supporting her for? She doesn't support a protective status. She doesn't support us having a specific hate crime bill. If she doesn't support us or any policies that will benefit us, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. The only reason why we bringing up her blackness is because they're trying to shove that she's black, so we got to support her automatically because she's black. The way I opened this up was genius because they don't really have anything to say except for Trump is worse. They know Kamala really isn't a good candidate. They all know this. Like I said in my last live, they're getting paid to say all this, all of it. They're getting paid to say it. So you can't take them serious, but they know she's not good. So all they know is I can just make Trump look worse than what she looks. And that's all I have to do. But by me saying,
hey, listen, man, that jitterbug is hella articulate. You get what I'm saying? This is what they are so out of touch with, family. They are so out of touch because these young kids are way more articulate than, I hate to say it, than us and some of our elders. And you're not going to just run that finesse game on them. That dude say, we looking at the policy. We don't even care about if she's black or not. What is the policies that's going to make her better than Trump? And as y'all all know, Trump got some hella policies. You got the Platinum Plan. You got Trump gave HBCUs over $500 billion. Biden them got into office and snatched the funding back out of the HBCUs, family. This is not stuff we're making up. These are facts. Listen, right here, we're discussing facts on this platform. We don't come at you with fairy tales. Okay? Facts matter over here. And that's what we're discussing. We got the receipts here, man. This is the home of the receipts, Urban Matters Black Media Group. Fellas, y'all get the last word in. We're going to try to wrap this thing up. We're going to come back at them again tomorrow. We're going to stay on your head like a bang. You know how you had a little bang on your head? Y'all ain't get that. Y'all missed that. Right. Go ahead.
It's been a while. Hey, it's been a while since I had a bang.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Receipts. I would like to talk to both of you gentlemen offline for about 10 minutes.
Yes, sir.
I have a little project in the community I'm sort of pushing in my head.
Absolutely.
And absolutely. So, but very important that we stop falling for the Jedi mind trick every election. And we got to get serious about data. The data is clear. If they all this mess they put on social media, when you see these lists of things and have a demonized picture of the other candidate and a glorified picture of another one, let your red flag fly. Check it out. I check it all out.
Yes, sir.
I don't care if it's Trump, Biden, Clinton, whoever.
Right.
Because I was taught at a really young age. I remember my grandfather told me, he said, you go to church, the preacher talk about one little sentence. He say, always read. If he talk about, I'm just saying, Mark 3:16, you read that whole chapter so you can put it in context. Be able to put anything in context mentally so you can move forward in power and in understanding.
Sir.
And the great Mark E. bids you adieu.
Yes, sir. Professor.
Gentlemen, you all have just took my heart to another level when you talk about data and this model that we are working on right now of self-education. I am hoping that others create their platform so that they can educate themselves and become more aware. The establishment has made it very clear that you ain't getting shit from them. They made it
crystal clear.
They made it crystal clear. And what we have to focus on now is the fact that we all we got. And from a spiritual perspective, black men, we got to love each other. We got to have respect for each other. We must have integrity amongst each other. And we must have honor between us. And with that, I believe that we will survive and we will thrive with those key principles. And I love you, brothers, very much. I got your back like a chiropractor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that. So let me give us some closing words, family. We're working on this platform for us, for our community. Us. Y'all go watch that. That's a good movie too. Us. That movie called Us. It shows you how other people will come here and portray you, try to act like you, will piggyback off of you, will culture vulture you, and will literally talk greasy about you and try to treat you greasy and literally live off your legacy and try to, piggyback and hijack your legacy. Family, let me tell you something. No matter what they say, without us, without our struggle, without our existence, this country would not even exist. I don't know how I can clarify that any better than I just did. You are the foundation and the fabric of this country. You are the Black Foundation American, foundational Black American. You are the true patriot. When they talk about patriotism, they don't get no more patriot than us. Yes, sir. What's that book there? You know what? I got to learn how to turn I'm going to do some software work. And Professor, we got to get them titles turned around. Black, what does that say? Indians. That's us.
Yes, sir.
We the true indigenous people. All Indians mean is indigenous. If you break down the terminology of the word Indian, it means indigenous. And the definition of indigenous means you are native to this land.
Aboriginal.
You're the aboriginal. You take the word aboriginal, you split it up into syllables. AB means AB first, and then original is the rest of the word. Original. You are the original man. You are the original black man. You are the original everything. You came before everybody. I know sometimes they try to act like, we were not here predating before the 1600s. Listen, they have pyramids in Georgia. They have pyramids in Illinois, Monk's Mound, they call it.
All up
Predates
and down the Mississippi.
all up and down the Mississippi River. 10,000 plus years old in this country. 10,000 year plus of of monuments and artifacts. Like the professor was saying, why they can't find simple artifacts of John, Hezekiah, whoever existed in these Bible stories. Either they didn't exist or either they're hiding them from us. And that's just impossible for you to hide everybody. Come on. My thing is, where the slave ships at? You mean to tell me they destroyed and hid and got rid of every slave ship that came from the African's coast? It's impossible.
There is no way that you can ship the number of people that they claim was shipped over to these lands by boat with those size boats that they had back then.
It's a discrepancy.
There is a documented number of voyages, and there is no way it could have happened.
Impossible.
And this has always been the land of the copper-complected people.
Yes, the land of milk and honey, they like to call it. Listen,
Turtle Island.
Turtle Island. Columbus said it in his journals. Go
That's
look
right.
at Columbus's journals of the Queen of Spain that sent him over here on the voyage. They were pirates, by the way. They weren't discoverers. They were pirates. They came to try to rip land from the people.
And conquerors.
And when they got here in his journals, he said, hey, Queen, I don't know if we was the first ones here, because when I landed, I seen copper color people. I seen copper color people. What is my skin color? Copper color.
Yes. He said every island he come to, he's going to discover for the crown.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, these three heads got a lot of information in it. It'll be absolutely wonderful for the people on this page to just soak up some of the knowledge that we partake.
And family, we're going to keep banging it and banging it and banging in your head like a bang. Listen, we here. And listen, we're going to also, fellas, we're going to be starting to bring in I talked to some gentlemen, and they're interested in teaching weapons training and, different protective measures that we're going to start learning here at this channel. So we got a lot in store for you, family. So get prepared. We're in our best health. We're in our best minds. We have a professor. We have an entrepreneur. And we have a business owner that is a lucrative owner of land. And he's all about land ownership. And he's going to teach us some things about construction. He's going to teach. I'm also, by trade, I am a HVAC technician. I do know air conditioning and electrician. So, hey, we're going to start teaching. And I'm a mechanic. So I know mechanical engineering. So, hey, we're going to start teaching our family members that. Fellas, if you're interested, please start tapping into the platform. And we're going to chop it up heavy with you. And we're not faking the funk. 2024, man, it's our year. We're not coming out voting for nothing. We're going to vote for the couch this year. Like Umar said, we're going to show them our power, and then they're going to be eating out our hands come 2028. Peace and love. I love y'all, family. Feel me?
Hey, Breezy, cut that shit up.
We're going to have that conversation. Peace and love, family. You can also join us. Check us out at YouTube. We got a YouTube channel, Urban Matters Matter Live Chat. Urban Matters Matter Live Chat. Check us out.
Yes, hey, Breezy, cut that shit up. Hey, Breezy, cut that shit up.
Oh, we want to get that last comment in. Let's get that last comment in. We got one more comment.
Hey, Breezy, cut that shit up.
Mr. Goodbar said, Jesus is so real. Praise him. If Jesus was made up by man, what is the creator letting you know? Oh, we're going to have to follow that one up. Thanks for that, Mr. Goodbar.
Hey, Breezy, cut that shit up.
Thanks for that. Peace and love.